Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love once again. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to share some encouragement, some faith, some inspiration, to share time with those and that which the universe brings forth. And today, brothers and sisters, again, I am filled with hope and faith and inspirations and some ideas that I want to share, hoping that the value can be received. Sincerely, I feel so grateful already to those who have already stopped by, those who may stroll in as the stream continues, and to those who just tune in at a later time or date. I feel grateful, and I receive value in you, in your participation. The numbers, the algorithms, those things, it's reflective of how is Jack doing. So thank you sincerely for all who are joining. So today, let's jump into the thumbnail and the topic, seeking truth, right? The thumbnail. I had to look it up. I wasn't quite aware. Josie Wales cut. I had to look it up to figure out the analogy, but I thought this is awesome and beautiful, and thank you to my creative talent that's with me. The quote, "She told me that to seek the truth is not necessarily to go on a mission of all guns blazing in order to reveal a lie. Neither is it to be a particularly groundbreaking. It is simply to get to the heart of what is real." Right? So in our path of discovery, in our growth and our development, in order to know what is true, it's not always some miraculous and magical, enlightenment is already here. Although that can happen, it's not always that way. And in order to get the truth, you don't always have to be pounding on the doors and, using threats and coercion in order to discover what is real. I don't know, maybe I'm taking the quote out of line a little bit more than it was supposed to be. But the point is, getting to the heart of what is real, that's the goal. In our path to seek the truth, we want to get to the heart of what is real. So to get to the heart of what is real, make sure your heart is open. Make sure your heart is open to receiving what is real. A heart of understanding, meaning one that is seeking to know, seeking to connect and unite, to share. A heart of understanding can lead the open mind to the answers truth can reveal. I get a little wordy, obviously. A heart of understanding can lead the open mind to the answers truth can reveal. Truth reveals the answers. I mean, the answers are and the truth, those are revealed to those who seek, who question, who want to know. So the point is, one must become open and understanding. Kind of simple. So how do you become open and understanding, willing to understand another? It's easier than our thoughts allow. Because it's our thoughts and our judgment that prevent us from staying curious, staying wanting to understand, our impatience, which is just part of who we are, the egoic, impatient part. Um, it wants to jump to conclusions, and it wants to rush through and find the answers before it's even shown. It's a beautiful game. It's kind of childish, but that's how people are. And so the whole idea of who we are today, brothers and sisters, is we are here to grow and to overcome that which humans were. We're here to redefine what it means maybe to be human. That's my goal. And I know I'm not alone. There's a lot of people out there trying to remind people that being human actually includes a little bit of gentleness and kindness, some compassion, some generosity, some creativity. That's what it means to be a human. But being a human also does mean being strong enough to be independent, not only to be independent to care for oneself, but to be strong enough to care for others. We each have this requirement, this role, this identity that we can and do assume to varying degrees. I mean, everything is true to varying degrees. Praise God. Praise God. Hey, sincerely, for those who are available, may feel inclined, you are welcome to join the conversations. My goal is to remain gentle and kind, not to bite anyone, that's for sure. So, for those who may want to join in our quest, the purpose of our all of our journey, our purpose is to seek the truth. Seek the truth from what life brings forth, and life is happening right here and now. So a lot of the truth I'm going to be sharing, while I don't know exactly what I'm going to say, I don't know exactly what I'm going to talk about. The most of the truth that I'm going to share today is stuff I've already learned. So I guess by speaking it through, it helps me develop my ability to explain these ideas. And hopefully I can share some things of value for you, whoever you are. But the goal I have, sincerely, it is well, there's many goals, many ways to say my goals. But my purpose each day is to find a way to grow, to adapt, to overcome, and to share some light and some love into this world. Because this world, man, the news and the destruction and the chaos I see that is like pending, the path that humanity's on, the self-destructive path that the collective humanity is on, it's heartbreaking. I watched a beautiful conversation earlier by a man I've spoken about before and who I truly admire, Dr. Gabor Mate. He had his son there, and I haven't. Apparently, his son is known as well. But they were having some beautiful discussions, some challenging discussions about the atrocities happening in Israel, Palestine. So some of the ideas, I mean, I'm seeing the evil of the world, where truly there are people on different sides who want to exterminate others. It's a disease. It's a parasitic mindset where we view other human beings as, not just the enemy, but disposable and And when we see each other as destructive, we try to destroy ourselves. You know, that's what ends up happening. And right now, what's happening in this world, I see a lot of human beings being quite destructive to each other and to themselves. And many don't even realize that's what they're doing because they've been brainwashed. So they live in these states of confusion where they don't really know what's right or wrong, but there's been enough people telling them they're doing a good job that they think they are. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, those are the two most obvious that come to my mind. I saw something Trump was saying recently in the news regarding I think it's must be NATO and associations regarding Trump, Putin and Russia. Trump's comments were that if they don't pay, they don't get protection. That was his stance on the U.S. involvement in NATO. And I understand the capitalist perspective. You don't pay, you don't contribute, you don't earn. You don't earn, you don't receive. That's what his mindset is for what would happen if he had his way, I guess, regarding the obligations and loyalty that this association supposedly brings. I mean, I'm not here to support NATO. I'm not here to support Putin. I'm not here to support Trump or Biden. I think they're all friggin' confused, misled, and the misled are misleading. How about that? Think about that. Who are you following? Sincerely, who are you following? Not necessarily, well, in any way, who are you following? Who's receiving your attention? Who do you look up to for different answers? Well, no, who do you follow means who receives your attention? Have they been misled? Are they misleading you? Are you misleading yourself by offering your time and attention to those? Watch the viewers drop. You're right, Jack. Shoot, I got better things to do with my life. Click. Congratulations. Then that means I succeeded. Because sincerely, we've all got things to do. There's always a time for everything, though, too. And hopefully this time you're sharing in, hopefully this is a time for you to receive some inspiration and hopefully some encouragement, perspectives. Here, what is this? Daisy May, yes, it is all staged. Well, yes and no. Majority, yes. DNC voted JFK Jr. couldn't be on the Democratic ballot, so he switched to independent. None of them can help us. I didn't hear that he had switched to independent. Maybe I did. That doesn't surprise me. The DNC has been corrupt for fucking years. Or Biden said he couldn't. I don't know. Don't listen to the news. The news is a mess and a drain of energy. It can be. It can be a mess and it can be a drain of energy. However, it can also be just a source for information. Our neighbors are a source for information. The boss is a source for information. The customer is a source for information. Whoever those might be, everyone is a source of information. So, you know, I don't actually, if I could speak to JFK Jr., I would be much more hopeful. I know that he is receiving, I don't know, but what I've heard is that Charles Eisenstein, a man who I do admire, I've talked about here. I understand he is working with JFK Jr. but I don't see what I would hope to see from any of the candidates so far. The closest thing, admittedly, I haven't given them a lot of attention, so I don't want to give wrong impressions either. Just because I haven't looked doesn't mean there's not some candidates out there saying great things, but whoops. Yes, this is something I understood, is that he has done a lot. And I believe his heart is right. I believe many people's heart is right, but I don't remember specifics, but it seems he's placed some trust and loyalty in others who I don't trust and for myself. But that's, it just means that I I would prefer to have conversations with him to know for sure. But I would love to speak with any of the candidates. I hope to speak with the candidates. I hope to speak with a lot of people. Because all of us, though, all of us, we can, it doesn't matter if we trust or distrust other people. It really doesn't matter. What matters is what we learn. Now, our trust and our distrust is going to affect what we pay attention to, and then what receives, what value we weigh the information. Our trust and our distrust, it's there for a reason. However, I place the truth above all else. I trust in what I believe to be true more than what I believe of other people. And so I trust my ability to discern, there you go, Daisy May, blessings. And we do. We've got to use our discernment. It's our gift. This is the game of life that God created for us to develop at this time. We are here to develop our ability of discernment. And through the best way to develop your ability of discernment is to learn from this side, learn from this side, learn from those people over there, learn from the people of the past, learn from the people looking into the future. Keep learning as much as you can, because you get to decide. You get to decide through your discernment when you stop asking questions. And then when you start risking your reputation and standing on what you think you know. I've been wrong a few times in the past. Thankfully, though, more times than not, I've been correct. I've been right. And where I sit today, I'm no longer dealing with daily intoxicants like the booze, the alcohol. I've got a clear mind, a clear conscience. I have no hidden agendas, no hidden motives. I'm not trying to get things over on anybody. Don't judge me. Blessings. I love sincerely so many of you. You guys are just like when I see your name in the chat, it's like it brightens my mood sometimes. What is coming out of these panels, it is a reflection of what's going on in the world. And admittedly, I was a little shocked when I saw what was going on in the world. Once I got a little more first-hand involvement and experience with what's going on in the world, my eyes were opened. I was brought the gift of more humility. And through that, I think I'm growing in my sense of humor. Many people may not agree with me, but I think I am. I think I'm more funny and more humble than I used to be. Oh, let me tie this back to a couple of things. because I was talking about some pretty important issues in my mind. You know, the genocide that's happening in Palestine, Israel, the similar, you know, the similar war profiteering that's happening in Ukraine. And let's not forget the American collective, the taxpayers, or at least the representatives in Washington, D.C., who allegedly represent and stand for people like me. Don't believe it. They don't. They've shown themselves not to be a friend of me or people like me. When I say they, I'm meaning those in positions representing what America is supposed to be like. Those in Congress, the White House, they're not doing a very good job. So the point is, they're funding all of the genocide and all of the atrocities. Hey, I may bring this up. Daisy May, thank you. I mean, I'm trusting. Actually, I may have seen this young lady. So Daisy May, I may come back to that in just a moment. Because what's going on, I think I will come back to that, and thank you, Daisy May. Because the point is, sincerely, we've got Joe Biden, who apparently another candidate again next time, when I think we might be better served just putting him in a retirement home. And then we've got Donald Trump. It might be better off behind bars, but you know, that's not my position to say. There's a lot of people who disagree with that, but Trump is saying if they don't pay, they don't get protection. Okay, consider that if you're a citizen. If you're part of this nation, if you don't pay, you don't get protection. Don't you see that's what's going on right now? That's the way of this society and this system we've got. The money places people above the rules, above the laws. And then once they place themselves above that, there's lots of people that are willing to obey for a paycheck, right? It's insanity. Absolute insanity. So the topic really I wanted to get to in today is the difference of being self-centered or soul-centered, and most importantly, how that relates to seeking the truth. If you're self-centered or soul-centered, either way, you are on your path through life. One of those is really going to help you know the truth, and the other one, can lead you down a path of deception like you would not believe. Beautiful timing. Welcome, Margot Davey. I love you. I love you all so much for joining. Sincerely, man. Hey, Daisy May, let me come back to this. Share this tab instead. And here, oops, this. Golly geez. So this is what we'll do. We will do like that.
Y'all seen Miss Morgan's videos. Well, she's moving over to Instagram too, so y'all need to. She's got a really big account on TikTok, but she's moving to the gram. So I'm about to tag her. Y'all go check her out. And she actually wrote this book that she's reading. Listen to this.
We are living in a villain's world, and they designed it perfectly. We eat the food they give us, vote for one of two people that they tell us to, and watch the movies that they show. They take our attention as soon as we reach age 5, and they never give it back. We go to school for 8 hours a day learning what they want us to. They scold us until we obey, and then they praise us when we do. They make us form a habit of waking up and spending our entire day in a building that we wouldn't choose, so that when we get older, we are willing to do the same. Following orders becomes comfortable when we spend our childhood doing what we're told. So when we're older, we hesitate to stray outside the norm. They tell us that we should do anything we can to attend a university, because if we don't, we will fail. They manipulate us into financial dependency at a young age so that we stay liable to the system. They've given us a currency that only has value because they say it does, and we receive it by working at a business that they own. Their millions become billions while the rest of us are forced to sacrifice our time for a minuscule fraction of what our work gains for them. They provide us housing, but make it costly so that we struggle to accumulate enough wealth to escape their system. Our supermarkets are full of brands that they possess, to the point that it is difficult to find ones that they don't. Our meals are either purchased from a store that they most likely own, or created with ingredients from their brand.
I know y'all seen Miss Morgan's videos. Well, she's moving over to Instagram too.
Yes, that the link is that coming up? The link is up there in the comments, and she is absolutely telling the truth. The way we've been trapped into the worldly ways, it's brilliant. It's perfect, and it makes absolute sense of why it would happen. It makes absolute sense of, well, what makes absolutely no sense in my mind is that, okay, brothers and sisters, there's problems. There's problems in this world. There has been patterns of corruption and patterns of deception, and many people have lived their whole lives without really knowing the greater truth of who they are or how they fit into the greater world. I think that time is ready to change. I think the time for that has come, for it to end. This is what was prophesied by the Hopis, by in the Bible, by all the different traditions have talked about a new age and a shift emerging, an evolution where we come together and we unite. People keep pointing to, well, this sign hasn't happened, more oppression and more of this. We don't have to wait. So I believe our Creator wants us to live and love living. I believe our Creator wants us to love life, because life is a gift. We miss out on the gifts life offers when we live in states of fear and constant worry of survival. And many people don't realize they've developed patterns of fear and this survival tension. They know they've got tension, they know they've got worries, they know they've got stress, but they don't understand. They don't understand how much their confusion is limiting their happiness. I used to live that way. Okay. So brothers and sisters, I feel like, for those who know the story of Plato's cave and the prisoners are there hypnotized by the shadows on the wall. And then one breaks free and he discovers the light and he's like, oh, not my goodness, things are not as they seem. Brothers and sisters, there's other ways to see. And so many are saying to me, no, Jack, you shouldn't see that. You should see you like I see. And I say, no. Brothers and sisters, I do sincerely love us all. This cannot have a society of murderers, rapists, human traffickers, child abusers, etc., without there being justice at some point in time. The time is now. It is our time. This is the time for us to join together. Because I agree, there must be justice regarding those who have caused loss, injury, and harm to others. The justice must be, we can find new ways, okay? New ways of correction. I believe we can We can bring transformation into our world, into the communities, into the societies, where we don't spend so much time, energy, resources, right? When we don't spend so much value on imprisoning, on punishing, on warring against each other. We can transform this world. And you know what? The simplest way, it is true. It's in the Bible. The truth shall set us free. God's children suffer and perish due to a lack of wisdom, a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding. Brothers and sisters, we learn best. We all learn in our different ways, and we all learn at our own time. What we learn, what we choose to learn, is from ourselves. We get to determine that. We decide what we learn. When do we ask questions? When do we ignore? When do we really contemplate? We choose so many things in our lives, in the way that we live. Praise God. I got distracted. Margot, you do get my attention. I enjoy you, but I don't know what this was. You didn't come in. Oh, that was me. Oh, you were talking to someone else. My bad. But golly goodness. Hey, I-Fi too. I could not figure out how to find your channel until I saw it more recently. I may go back and tag you in some of the conversations here. Before I wasn't able to. Anyway, seeking the truth, recognizing that the search for the truth is not necessarily going in with guns blazing. It's not necessarily to go in and prove others wrong, or, whatever. We pick sides in these battles so often. People pick sides in who is right and who is wrong. Like our opinions even matter. Sometimes they do. Sometimes our opinions matter, but we are all here to seek the truth. The best way to know the truth is to go within. You receive information each day, you have conversations. Well, pause and reflect and consider, okay, this was just experienced. What does this mean to me? How does that fit into everything else? Once we've observed that stuff, then we've got a better idea of what should be ignored, what should be just set aside, not worried about. What part of that conversation, what part of this day should we come back to and maybe ask more questions? Or in reflection, maybe we misspoke. Maybe we were the one who didn't lead correctly. Maybe in reflection, there's an opportunity for us to go back and correct. Doggone it. As I'm saying these words, there was something I misspoke recently. I was going to admit and offer a correction. Hey, I do enjoy some of the questions and the way I've enjoyed some of our conversations with you. And as I see Chuck, I'm trying to think that maybe what I was going to offer was a correction in some of the opinions I've shared of others. I'm not certain that was it, but praise be, Talcott Express. I do love what you share. Thank you. Heal up, allow yourself to heal, and we will connect again in the future. The idea, what I want to share today, though, really, okay, a lot of things I wanted to share. bringing it back to along the path of seeking the truth, being self-centered or soul-centered. There's a distinction, right? We've had conversations on this stream in the recent days with the topic of selfishness. Selfishness truly does bring misery. Selfishness brings division, and it can lead us to evil. Selfishness, that's how the devil works, right? Through placing temptations, ideas of selfish gain, and then through the ideas of selfish gain through opportunities of temptation. Then with the mind we've been given, then we come up with our excuses, our logical excuses of why it's okay to deny them. It's okay that even if they get hurt, it's okay because this is my gain. Selfishness it's a disease. It's worthy overcoming. I want to encourage you sincerely, whoever you are, hey, you get it, Jeeps. Expect more, do less. But that which you do, you better do with full effort, full intention, full purpose. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm pro labor, anti-jobs. And actually, I'm not anti-work. I know there's value in work. There's so much value in a hard day's work, getting some labor done, accomplishing some things, whether it's mental labor or physical labor. Yes, there is value in that. That's why we're created. We are biological machines. It's amazing. What powers the biological machine, though, is more amazing. That is the spirit of life, the spirit of God, the essence of who we are. It is the truth. It is the love and the truth. Those two things within us, that comprises the divine aspects of who we are, the wisdom and the love that we can offer from our unique point of existence. Because each of us, as you are where you are, just like me, as I am where I am, I have resources, abilities, perspectives of value that I can share. Should the opportunity come up, and especially if there's a worthy exchange, those are the best opportunities to share. But recognize wherever you are, wherever you go, is an opportunity for you to reflect an image. It's an opportunity for you to reflect you into the world. And how do you want to show you to the world? Because keep in mind, what you are, what I am, we are images of the Creator. We certainly get to choose. By our path, we get to know good and evil. We get to learn right and wrong. We're not always perfect, but it is our ability. And so each day we live and we go through the day in our communities, in our jobs, in our families, we represent the source of creation. We represent so much more than what we think, because we are so much more than what we think. Our thoughts create our limitations. I paused there to feel if there was something wrong with that. Our thoughts create our limitations. To some degree, that is true. To other degrees, it is not, right? Because what is a thought? It's not a form. It's just an experience, perhaps. It's an activity of an idea being perceived through the awareness, and that's all we are. We are just an activity of being perceived through the awareness. That's all we are, is the awareness of the experience. So, what is your awareness of your experience? What is your awareness of your feelings in your experience? The feelings, man. Feelings are what? Feelings are a gift. Feelings are a gift offered by God so that we could sense and feel our way through life. And then beyond the feelings, we were gifted with the mind, the ability to remember, to cognize, to imagine. Our Creator, man, has created us into some pretty amazing beings, right? Not only that, we got the opposable thumbs, unlike a lot of the other creatures on this world. We got the ability to plan. We got power of language, the written word, so that we can share knowledge through distance and time together. Human beings, man, they're actually not so bad at all when you kind of look at them a little different. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's going on in the chat. I pray you are all having beautiful days. And I don't know what's going on. What degrees isn't it? I don't know. For those who are interested, you're welcome to join. I'm not one who wants to stream for hours just to have people's attention. I mean, I do actually enjoy having conversations, even when it's not. Well, do I? Do I enjoy having conversations more than being alone? Being alone is pretty amazing. Anytime I want to talk, I get to. I always have someone to listen to me. I usually have a pretty damn good time when I'm by myself. And so this is what I don't understand, is why so many people find it so hard to be around me. Here's a man who keeps trying. Welcome.
Jack Mack in the heart attack. How you doing, buddy? It's got to be live.
I know. I'm feeling blessed. I appreciate you joining. How you doing today, man?
I'm hanging in there, man. Did a bunch of work around the house yesterday, and I shouldn't have. My back is killing me. I mean, I'm literally, how do you say it? Worn the fuck out. Literally like going, oh my. Oh, I'm so tired. But worse things have happened to better people, so I'm all right. I'll be all right. But I did get this new microphone. I don't know if you can see it because it's colored and
Dude, it looks cool. Yeah,
it is. It's got lights and shit like that. And the thing that I like is the gain. I can turn up the gain and down the gain real easy, so you can hear me. And I like that kind of booming voice, if you like.
I've got some of that too. I don't know how to. I've never figured out how to adjust it.
You need to pull a set of headphones out and plug it into the mic so you can hear yourself through the mic.
That's what I'll do. I'll play with
if there's an input in the mic. Did you see a microphone output?
There is.
Yeah. So that's where you're going to get that output, and you'll be able to hear yourself back. Simple
solution. Use what it came with.
There you go. Well, it's not. It doesn't have a processor to send that. There's not a bus or whatever you might call it.
It does look like you're hotboxing right now.
I am. I've been. Yeah. No. Let me shut this off so all the kids don't see the bad habits. Let me. What can you do? But if you look at my emoji or whatever you call that icon, it's the dollhouse. So I'm used to being in a smoke-filled environment. So you gotta love the girls. The dollhouse in Fort Lauderdale. Girls, girls, girls dancing in Atlanta at Tattletales. Jack's like, oh no, where are we going here?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening now.
Well, you know what's happening? I was listening to something earlier. And I think some of the stuff that you talk about is really interesting and relevant to people if they think deeply on it enough to realize the consequences of not paying attention. And the thinking part is where we get off, so you're live without fear and the whole thought behind love without fear. I think that's when we actually live the most is when we love. And when we love, it's when we stop thinking. We just let that enjoyment of life happen. We let that ebb and flow. We learn to just be at peace with ourselves and at peace with another. And then 20 years later, 15 years later, 5 years later, you're together and you start thinking and you go, wait, I don't like you after all. What are you still doing here? And that sucks because then you're fucking everything up. You're now judging one another and it turns things wrong. But if you could stay in that blissful moment without really thinking, judging, or caring about anything other than enjoying yourself, enjoying them, and not thinking about, well, is there consequences? Is there someone else? Are they thinking about me? Are they thinking bad? Are they just trying to take advantage of me? Not thinking seems to be maybe where you live and love without fear. What are your thoughts?
I wasn't. I missed. I wandered away, to be
Salty is wondering where I'm at too. I mean, I could actually give you some reference points. The point is that think about when you actually are free. It's not when you're thinking about your 9 to 5. It's not when you're thinking about paying bills. It's when you're thinking about living.
Yes.
Enjoying life.
Yes. And not fearing life, but actually enjoying it. This is where I realized, thank you. You were right. Love is it's a power of freedom. It's not forceful, yet it has a power and a force to it. But I think a lot of people become deceived with the idea of love and control. They think control is love, and therefore, if they can't control you, you must not love them.
I'd argue what I just discussed was letting go.
Yes, that's it. They got to let go. But people I know, they've
how to get lost in love without guiding it.
How to get lost in love without guiding.
You can't. My point being, how else could you get lost in love? You have to go without guiding it. I mean, if you're trying to guide it, it's not love. It's some sort of mission you're on.
Love starts with an idea, I think, but I don't know. Love is mysterious. Does it start with a feeling or the idea? But the two go together. It's a power.
It's a power. Love, exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you.
Love is such a power. It's frightening. Many people are very confused by love.
That is interesting that you say that because it's true. It's true. I think the vast majority of people are confused. But then again, if you go back to what I was saying earlier, they may be thinking too much rather than just letting it happen.
Well, that's kind of, brother, that is very true. I forgot. I got a lot of new surprises. I just got to remember when and how to use them.
Uh-oh. Look out. I'm gonna go get my helmet. Hold on.
No. You're good, man. You're good.
Shrapnel upside the head. Whoa.
The love being without, I think it's without all those limits, all the requirements, all the expectations. Those are more attachments than they are love. Sorry, I got another phone ringing if that's coming through.
Tell him I'm not there.
I'm sure it's, I tried to, you know what? I got stories. These damn corporations. It's damn.
The corporation, the dead speak.
Well, yes. These corporations have proven not to be allies of mine. They are not friends to me.
Well, Jack, be honest. If you were offering them something, if you had something that they wanted from you, they'd be your best friends.
Right. I mean, the only reason we have a relationship is because I have had money. Had I not had money, they'd have nothing to do with me. And, you know, whatever. I guess that's the ways of the world.
It is the dark side of the upside down.
Well, okay. The reason that came up, though, is because corporations have not been a friend to me. I know I am not alone. I know that I am not alone in today's society when I say that corporations have, I won't say caused harm, but they have been a hindrance to my greater joys. Governments too. So I'm still trying to figure out what's really going on in my own personal life, because in the regards of what's going on today in my life and the world, I'm telling you, man, there are some incredible opportunities coming up.
Like what? What kind of opportunities are you discussing?
Peace.
Well, geez. I mean, I'd like that as an opportunity, but I think that so many people are against me having inner peace.
There may be in your path. There actually, you may be honest and accurate. However, that doesn't have to stop you.
Well, I mean, I don't let it. Here, for instance, hold on. I don't want to move too much or I'll move this guy. Do you think I'm not at peace if this little guy was, he's just straight up at peace, and there's two more beside him. And they wouldn't be at peace if I wasn't at peace. They'd be all shell shocked. Because if I was reacting to everything that happens to me, well, there'd be a problem.
Yeah.
I try not to. Try to respond to it. And one of the things you have to learn about that is, well, that means just sitting back and relaxing and waiting for shit to happen and not thinking about it too much. Because how could you enjoy shit if all you do is contemplate the what ifs? Then you end up shoulding all over yourself, and you shouldn't do that.
Well, the what ifs in good ways, those can be quite entertaining and quite fun. I mean,
they can be endless, though. That's like the what ifs are, oh my God. The list of what ifs is too long.
Right. All right. Very good. So some people have closed minds and they don't really spend a lot of time in thought. So the what ifs are a good path for many people to follow. Now, for others who may spend a lot of time in the mind and have no problem with creativity, maybe their question should be, what now? what's the next step now?
I agree with you. I think that what I was trying to convey a little bit there was, if someone's after you, but you don't know when, where, why they're coming, don't try and figure it out unless you're actually setting yourself up for war, to retaliate, to do something, like or in kind. My thought would be, no, sit back, maybe ponder it. It's good to think about some of these things, but at the same time, I do believe the truth is, while you might make a couple of ventures into a thought process of planning, if something happens, if that happens, a what if, session here or there. If you go for months just what ifing yourself, that's just not healthy, I don't think. I think that you're best to just let things be. If you find out something that's new, improved, odd, out of line, deal with it then.
Yeah.
My belief. My belief. I'm not getting what you're laughing at. I'm taking it you're in the chat, probably looking at it.
A
What are
little
we
bit.
getting blasted?
No.
Uh,
Not
it's okay. Pick on me and leave Jack alone, please. By all means, I can take it.
yeah.
Worse things have happened to better people. Trust me. I'm not all that good a guy.
Well, Margot has been one of those who's been sharing the allegations that I'm dangerous in this community. She spent many nights afraid by the sounds of it. That's what she claimed, at least. Trying to share her fear with other people. So I look forward. Sorry, I did get off the where you were at, Scott.
It's all right. Go right ahead. Just take it.
Um,
This is your hour.
this is absolutely insane, Margot.
What is she saying there? Read that out
She's
loud.
saying, see ya, Smith, whatever. He was considered dangerous when he called the authorities and said he had a gun to his head. The police called my school and put us in lockdown. That is not related to me. That's never happened with Jack.
That
But see,
seems. Why would she put that out there in public if that's completely untrue? What's wrong with you, Margot? You got a fucking brain aneurysm?
well, because Margot is a confused lady, right? She claims she's afraid of nothing. Yes, she buried her child and lived through it. She has a lot of bitterness today that she hasn't healed. And so she's been showing me her bitterness for several years and has avoided any opportunities for us to find resolve. But see, Margot has enough, a little bit of information about me, so she's created these completely false narratives that she's been spreading around town. And as you see, she still
It
stands
goes deeper.
on.
She's doubling down here.
Oh yeah, she claims, Margot, you claim no bitterness. I have evidence of your bitterness and your vitriol. It's part of my life experience with you that I've been trying to discuss with you.
If she's not bitter, why is she chasing you around?
She's not. She's not. She's moved out of my town. I
She's
don't know.
online. I mean, she comes on every night when you're on. She has something to say. She wants to make sure everybody hears her. And the subject matter she's discussing is not herself, what her kids did, how well her day went. It's fuck Jack again.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? And
Well, it
she's,
seems like there's bitterness. I mean, I would assume.
well, Scott, I've said this before though. Margot and Paul have both played very similar roles in my life. Margot has just been around a lot longer and has more of a connection to my actual physical life here in town. Paul is just another one who online decided to start. What does this mean? Do you know what mods can do to your channel when you're not streaming? It ain't good. Take this stalker's wrench. I'm not sure who salted is meaning. Oh, Margot.
Oh, well, you know, she has a wrench now.
So I gave Margot a wrench because,
Olive branch?
well, she kept getting, she'd show up and immediately get blocked. And sometimes I wouldn't even notice she was there. And I know it's good-hearted people, but I kind of did it so she wouldn't be blocked. And see, this is so funny too. Margot did this before. I freaking love you, Margot, but look at your patterns of behavior, dude. My best friends are Paul and Flo because they chose to oppose me and criticize me. I won't say that's the only reason. Paul and Flo have many admirable qualities. There's many reasons to like them and to admire them. But Margot, you did this exact same thing with Charles and Brian and what's that lady's name? The heavy one, Maria. Oh, she's not heavy anymore. But Maria, Margot, you've done this before. Kevin K. I see Kevin K. And I don't know. You know what? I'm trusting.
You're trusting. Didn't you get fucking bombed the other day by some bald freak?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Holy
Twice.
Christ, that's some sick shit, man. What's wrong with these people? But Snafu Snaps and his half-existent Snafu crew or crew of snaps, whatever you call it, didn't they get on it right away?
Yeah, they
got you a
me
screenshot
right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Margot, yes. Okay. So here again, Margot is naming people. Wanda, wait, Tim. I don't know who you mean by Tim. Charles,
Tiny Tim.
Brian. Well, I know Charles, Brian, Wanda. Those people, they could very easily help me speak with people here in my town who, Margot, I don't know a Tim Klink. And if I do, it's very distantly. It's not part of my past. But the other people were very close to me. And they know people who could easily help me find some answers and maybe even move forward with my goals. My goals of trying to pick up the pieces. Guys, I'm here each day trying to share inspiration and encouragement, but the reality is behind the scenes, I'm also trying to pick up the pieces of my life, trying to reunite my family, trying to hopefully achieve justice for the rights that were denied me and the false accusations that I've been facing. So one of these days, the truth is going to be better known. And Margot Davey, my dear confused friend, you have played a role in my life, and it is not the heroic role that you believe.
She has not been the hero in your story, huh?
No, she's misled others against me, and her and others have been enabling each other.
There's still time. She hasn't left you yet, though.
I know. This is the thing. This is actually why I'm grateful to see Margot keep showing up, because eventually she has the opportunity to repent, to change her ways.
Wait, stop right there.
Yeah.
One time, long time ago, I was living with this woman, and my father. I went to him for advice, seek advice from your elders, as the good book says. And I said, Dad, this is going on, and this is going on. This is what she said, and this is how she sees things. And I don't fucking get it. And Dad made it real simple. He said, son, you can either choose to love her or you can choose to try and understand her. But don't fucking you dare try and do both. Don't do it. What you're trying to do is get in someone else's life, and then you try and live it too much for them. When you get into, you disagree. Yeah, you're wrong. Jack, trust me. That may be why you could have some issues. When you're trying to understand somebody, that's meaning you think that you can fix them, that you can change them. That's a very difficult fucking position to come from. Go ahead, tell me what you think.
That's a logical fallacy. Your conclusion makes no sense.
Fallacy, explain how.
You're confused.
No. Don't just say I'm confused. Please come forward with some evidence.
You're presenting the case that you can't understand and love someone, that you can't actually understand other people. And I disagree. I know for a fact that you can understand people better than you realize. Maybe not as intimately as they know themselves.
Once you understand somebody, does it make it easier or harder to love them?
Easier, of course.
Oh, there you go. You're right off the fucking tracks, Jack.
Am I?
Think about it.
Scott, I'm not off the tracks.
Maybe I am, but let's discuss it. Let's see who's off the tracks. Who's really on this right.
So I alleged that it's easier to love someone you understand. You said I'm off the track.
I would argue that pretty much what I said to the beginning of this, referring to the beginning of this conversation, was we tend to have a much more joyful experience when we stop thinking and we just let love happen. And you were in agreement there, but somehow or another you've, I guess, digressed.
I think what you're talking about is being blissfully ignorant. I'm talking about being aware and understanding, because through understanding, we develop a connection. It's really through the understanding that we have solid relationships.
Okay. Understanding someone's disposition or understanding them wholeheartedly. I don't think we have enough time on earth to understand ourselves fully. Much less.
This is where, Scott, I believe I can help you, because I think you're creating a confusion and a limitation on yourself that's preventing you from understanding yourself more.
Okay. Explain to me how you perceive that.
Your words combined with the patterns I've witnessed
You've witnessed, regardless of what you think, you've really witnessed nothing in my life day to day.
You're right.
We've talked, but
right.
But let's go on what you just heard. Why would you think that I'm misgiven in that notion that we're better off at? Go ahead.
Well, I'm actually alleging, Scott, that simply that you probably don't understand yourself as well as you think you do. And at the same time, you can understand yourself far easier than you've led yourself to believe. I'm suggesting you've got a mental block on you. You've got a blinder on you that's not allowing you to see your behavior and your presentation as clearly as it could be.
Well, that's an abject failure to stay on track, Jack, because we were talking about how you can't understand another, and now you're telling me I don't even understand myself, much less another, which is quite fucked sideways if you think about it, because you just turned it on.
More confusion than it's.
No, that's what you just said. That's exactly.
Is there a resolve, or are you just resolved to stay confused? I'm okay either way.
Your opinion is that there's confusion here. And my suggestion would be Is the mirror close enough?
Hey, Scott.
Not to be mean. Don't
Scott,
get mean.
You're
There you
not
go.
even considering. You're just so quick to defend and to present it back. But
You
here's all I
took
wanna-
this
Scott,
from go
Scott,
ahead.
I reached my conclusions and offered the words that I've said to you because I've witnessed in the short, right? I only see a little bit about you. Excuses and blame.
I'm not blaming any fucking buddy now,
Okay.
nor do I ever have. Who have I ever
Okay.
blamed?
All right. I'm not here to argue, but
you
Scott,
just
I
made a
love you.
fucking. Well, hold
Here,
on.
we got
I'm not
another
trying to.
guest. We got
Okay.
another guest, and this might be fun. Let's take
This
a
could
breath,
be.
Scott. I enjoy you.
I'm gonna stand
Holy
up.
cows and Jiminy
Holy shit,
Christmas.
this is my favorite person.
Will
on the
somebody get
planet.
this fucking balloon of hot air under control?
Jesus Christ. We
Sick
need
of the
you to do
fucking
that.
imagined disagreements and disrespect up here.
It's so fucking glad. I'm so glad that you showed up. Of all people, you
Oh,
make
my
me
daddy
happy.
once said you can't love and understand someone at the same
No.
time.
No, think
He
about
said,
that,
here's a
Paul.
Big Mac, son.
No, it was a Whopper. It was a Whopper.
What you just said made absolutely no
fries.
sense. Just to be clear, and I'm going to go ahead and speak for the chat. 3/4 of which does not like me, and I'm sure they're going to agree with me. What you just said made absolutely no sense.
Okay, explain how.
Proving your father was a dumbass, and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Sorry, Jack. I went a little over the line there. I'm trying to defend you.
You're good.
That's
You're
just
doing
your
great.
way, though. That's just your way.
No, he's actually.
Can you love the truth if you don't understand it?
Can you love your mother if you don't understand her, Paul? Boom. I guess that was a drop.
It was a deflection.
No, it's
What,
a
did you just let
reality
go of your
check.
stomach?
Did
Well, can you love? Can you love?
Yours
the
would have
truth
hit
if
the
you
floor,
don't
I know,
understand it?
without that belt holding that motherfucker up. Dicky do.
Scott, can you love the truth if you don't understand it?
Yeah, probably not. Because if you don't understand it, Jack, you're going to live without fear, and that's not possible.
So, okay.
Just saying. I mean,
well,
that's a relatively.
Okay.
But let's
what
go back
I'm-
to Paul. Come on. Paul's here.
No.
For a reason. Why?
Well,
Stop,
okay, I'm
Jack.
not going to control.
What the fuck?
You're both guests. Welcome to you both. I'm grateful.
Back to the God of all madness.
No, he's got. Hey, Paul, I'm grateful to have you.
Miscreants,
Thank you, sir.
mayhem, the God of all mayhem.
Scott, do you ever shut up?
No,
You're
no, I
really
know
like
you.
annoying and
Listen, I'm
insufferable, and
really
you're not an interesting or endearing
I'm really
personality
like
at all.
you, somebody
Even your
who doesn't
attempts to
know
pretend to be
why.
soft and relatable like didn't translate. It was just cringy. The puppy,
It
the
was
whole deal.
cringy.
Come on,
Yes.
man.
You wish you had a
Cut it
dog
out.
with a sitcom next to you, don't you? You enslaved.
You're an
fucking
angry,
rabbit.
bitter, resentful, miserly,
Not at
miserable
all.
man. It's obvious. The puppy doesn't change anything.
You're
I
just a
think
baby
you guys
chimpanzee.
are very similar. You guys have a
Probably,
you're both
probably
great.
not.
You both
No.
have
He hasn't gone through
rhythm.
anything.
I'm
to
tapping
actually have
into
his
that. I'm not
parents.
actually that way in my life. I tap into that when I come on here to relate to these miscreants.
You
Interesting.
tap into stupidity.
Well,
Well,
it
yeah,
might
like
be
saying that you can't love and understand something at the same time.
right.
If you're in a
That makes
relation,
no
you better
You're lighting
choose
the
love
world on
over-
fire with intellect.
Well,
You better
Scott,
choose to love someone rather than try and figure out everything that they're saying or doing. Because if you're trying to hunt down their intention, you're an idiot.
well, Scott, hold on, please.
Figure it out for yourself, Paul. You'll be late to the game.
Fear
Dumb.
is the
This is
ego.
coming from someone who's presently not in a relationship and isn't
Oh,
going to
you
be in
think
one
that's
anytime
true?
soon.
Actually, you're way off fucking chord, and there's more than
We have
one
no
that-
reason to believe that you're in a
Don't need to
successful or
give
happy
you any-
relationship.
Okay, don't need to give you a reason. Don't need to care.
God.
Literally years long relationships, many. So don't
chill.
worry about me. I'm fine.
Chill.
Go ahead, Jack. Excuse me.
Well, here, I do want to bring us back to this idea that you presented, Scott. It makes no sense.
Okay,
You
tell me
can't
how.
love and understand. You can.
We don't even understand the system around us. You're going to argue all the time when you're trying to
Scott,
figure right from wrong.
That's an illusion. You believe that, but
Okay.
I know I understand far more than you may realize. You might too if you stop trying to defend.
I'm
your
all ears. Let's hear
conclusion.
you two. Obviously, you two know exactly what I'm thinking and how to figure this out. And we have to understand everybody. So tell me how. Both of you. Give me
I
your
don't
best
think-
shot.
I'm not going to claim to know what you're thinking, but I do see some blinders. I see blinders.
Tell me what any fucking buddy else is thinking. Tell me how you can understand what they're thinking 100%.
Why?
That's the subject we're talking about, brother.
No, here, that's the subject you're talking about. And actually, what I'm trying to discuss is how to be human, right? How to be present and loving and knowing that you can understand. If you convince yourself you can't understand, guess what you're going to do? You're
So
going to
an interrogatory on the fucking honeymoon or on the way to the wedding is going to make for blissful years. I see how you
What?
misgiven.
What?
I said
The worst part is that folks like this constantly think that they're on the mark and clever, and it's like far and few between. What is the lack of awareness that makes them think they're on the mark and or interesting or clever or wise?
Past
listen,
conditioning,
double
enabling.
Double down on how much you know when you didn't even make it out of high school with any fucking credibility.
What relevance does
No
that
idea what that
have
means.
to- It's right. That's
Did you have
So
a
now your
girlfriend till
metric
you
for
were
intelligence
30?
is who made it out of high school on time?
right?
No, I mean
What?
at 26, was it a hooker, Paul? Did you have to pay
What the
somebody?
hell?
So now we're going to judge intellect by what my choice of bedroom habits were at 26, 10 years
You
ago
didn't
almost.
have a choice. You couldn't
God.
find somebody to hang out with you.
Scott, hey,
I
come on.
guess you would know
We're
that
better
experience.
We're better than this.
So the hookers we might think were your option.
What are
Again,
you
Scott, I don't
doing?
understand what makes you think you're any more of a witty, clever, wise, or attractive man than I am. I don't know what gives you this perspective. Would you like to take a poll? No, not like that. I'm sure you're
literally
homoerotic
the
as well.
one- Listen, poll boy, you're the one that always wants to put everybody down. So if you can't handle standing on the other end of it, go fuck yourself.
What
You're a
makes you think I
poor
can't handle it?
sport.
I'm
You're
rather
a
unimpressed
poor
by your best
sport.
efforts right now.
You're
Your
a
best
poor
efforts are rather unimpressive, to be
What?
frank or Hank with you.
Paul, you have no experience in anything.
Scott.
It's that simple. So anything you say is just
All right.
bullshit.
Is there any way we can verify anything you've said factually, or are you just going to keep giving us your anecdotal presentment of who you are and what you do?
Yes. Scott, I muted you to interrupt. All right. Thank you. We don't have to have these
And
nonsensical.
we might be able to go
Are
somewhere.
you're still fucking talking, aren't you?
Yeah, go put
you
something in
muted
your
it. I
mouth.
didn't notice that. I don't
Quiet
pay
down and go
attention
eat
to what you're
something.
doing.
We saw you on My 600-Pound Life yesterday with Christos. He had your picture
that
up
was-
again.
That wasn't.
See, that's
necessary.
listen.
I saw that.
Paul. That's your
Yeah,
problem.
your dreamboat stock,
That's your
ladies.
problem. You tell everybody that you're love and your enlightenment, but you're absolutely the opposite. So don't think you're some fucking guy standing on a hill. You're a piece of shit on
Yeah,
your
I
way
don't
down.
claim any acclamation. I claim a practice, not an
You
acclamation.
claim you're the fucking apogee of it all, and you're a little man.
When did I do
Small
that
in
exactly?
stature. All the time. Over everything.
All the time. Could you
You're
give me a
loose
specific?
cannon. Hey, you're in your mama's feelers.
Oh,
you fuck up.
Scott, what are you doing? Seriously.
Nothing. I'm playing the same
He's
game you play
embarrassing
with me
himself like
every
he always
time I've
does.
ever
He's good
talked
at it
to you.
too.
But
Hey,
Scott,
Jack, if you want to
let's
stick up for
change.
this fucking guy, go
Scott,
ahead. Otherwise, we'll
Scott.
just
Ooh,
talk.
you seem really triggered and emotional. Get the puppy. Go stroke the puppy.
Got the puppy.
We could have conversations like adults. You don't have to play this loop, Scott.
Why? No. Did he come in and start talking shit about
I
our
don't
discussion?
care what he did.
That's
I'm
your
talking
problem.
to you.
Yes. So what you're doing
Yeah.
is you're laying judgment on one side, not
No,
the other. Jack,
actually,
is that
what I'm-
fair and even-handed?
Scott, actually, what I'm doing is
You're acting like
again,
Paul.
no.
Why don't
well,
you mute
here,
me again?
Scott.
Why don't you put me backstage?
Scott,
Be a
go eat
Paul.
something.
Be
You're
a
getting
Paul.
hypoglycemia.
Hey, listen.
Go eat something. You're getting confused and delirious. You're low sugared out right now.
What I was trying to offer is, golly geez, Scott. Oh, I am taking a chance, admittedly, but I have faith that I've got a more likely chance of reasoning with Paul today than I do with you, Scott. And
Go
your
right ahead.
behavior,
I already told you.
your behavior is not helpful. So you're creating the situation where
No,
it
I-
appears you want to be thrown to the back. So
I'll
you
be
can
quiet.
continue your
I will.
victim loop.
My apologies. I just don't like this guy for what he stands for, which is nothing, just hot air. So
Well,
go on. I'm going to be
that's
quiet.
your opinion, and thank you, Scott. We can play nice and get along at least for a little while. Holy cows, man! Daisy May. This is the highlight of my day, not just the evening. Although you know what, I may go out and discover what the world is offering. I'm feeling excited. The sun is shining today. It was beautiful, cold, like 29 degrees. It's an amazing gift to be alive, guys. Sincerely, there's so much joy. We don't have to spend so much damn time arguing. Because, admittedly, well, not admittedly, obviously, I think there is a lot of talent, a lot of incredible, inspiring people who have joined around here, part of this group that we are. We are part of a group. And I tell you what, if I was like in the position of like some of these people have suspected there's agents and we're being watched and blah blah blah, dude, I would be laughing at the incompetence we seem to show. Maybe it's just me though. Thoughts? Hey, Paul, are you still streaming or did you finish and just join up?
No, I've been done.
Oh, good for you. I don't know if you saw my comment. I joined. I didn't mean to just be an interruption, but something came up in the call and I was glad I stepped away for it. Life is interesting, brother.
What, did they need a co-signer for Scott 2B's Uber Eats X bill?
Jesus,
No.
do you still get your food from Uber Eats because you can't move, get off the couch?
Dude, that's a great service that we've got these days. Really, I saw that you can order up booze and have booze delivered, I think even.
I
It's
think
like,
they're going to be delivering weed soon. Then the dispensaries won't have to.
well, I thought that could be a good business actually, but yeah, I don't, there's so many rules and hoops people want you to jump through these days. It's nonsense to do.
There, I was listening to somebody. It was a lawyer actually talking about how marijuana is no longer classified as marijuana. Most of it, unless it has Delta 9 THC, and then it's illegal. And most of it doesn't. So all of it, almost across the board, due to something that fucking the Matt Gaetz here in Florida and a couple of other attorneys and statesmen, if you will, did. It's all classified as hemp. This is going to be changing rather quick from what I understand, because Delta 9 THC doesn't really happen until the time it gets hot in the flame, I think. I may be wrong.
I think what we have is the opportunity to really bring some substantial change to, well, declassify and redefine a lot of different terms in the structures of our land. That's the only thing I keep thinking and focusing on these ideas. Oops, wrong buttons. Hey, we got another guest here.
Yes.
Welcome. Joe Cool. How you doing, brother?
I wanted to join the love fest up here, man.
Come on, man.
I was
Joe,
feeling
what
the
you
love,
doing, brother?
I just wanted to come up here and be part of the love.
You
Dude,
are the love, brother.
Hey, it is an amazing opportunity when Paul and I are able and available to hang out together. I think it is a great time, so I'm glad you joined, both of
I
you.
was being sarcastic, talking about Scott being angry, but
Damn, I ain't all that angry, man.
maybe a little
made
bit.
me happy. You just made me happy. I call you Joe Love. Come on now.
No, moving.
Jack, I think you were just successful at moving on, though. So I think you just changed it
Righteous indignation.
to what? That's what? Oh, that's what you were doing, righteous indignation. I get it. I do the same shit, Scott. I do the same shit. Yeah, they
Hey,
manage.
now that we got some more folks up here, I'm curious. I can guess on responses, but for those who hopefully you're familiar, apparently Trump's words regarding participation in NATO, and he was asked, if he was president, would he defend people who weren't current on their participation in NATO? And his response is, if they don't pay, they don't get protection.
He's a mob member, man.
You know what? Even better. Yeah, that's obvious mob mentality, isn't it? They don't pay, they don't get protection.
In fact, we beat up on you and smash your windows of your businesses. You're gonna pay one way or another, and you get our protection then. That's the way the gangs and the mob do it, right? If you don't pay, it might be an accidental fire, a window get busted in your business. Now suddenly you'll pay because you want our protection. If you don't fucking pay, shit might get worse for you. That's the way it works.
Dude, I'm sitting here thinking, and I don't know all of the pieces, right, as far as the development of history, but the way that history has developed, man, the corruption between the Federal Reserve, then the manipulation of the gold standard and off the gold standard, and then the banking reforms, and now some of the legislation that's out there, it's just absolute.
Think of how bold you would be if you were able to get away with big moves like that. Think of how bold and emboldened you'd become.
Well, Joe, there you go. Maybe that's it. They feel so emboldened because, well, it's been so long since they've been challenged, perhaps.
Yes.
And then wouldn't that mean, well,
I mean, we got to get rid of the sheep. Historically, people say they call them 85% are sheep and believe any fucking thing. So as long as they keep complying, these guys will be emboldened. So it looks like we're going to have to educate the sheep. And I don't know if that's the thing. They might not have the intelligence quotients able to understand the lessons given.
I'd say maybe just get the sheep to trust you to control.
But they're sheep. They would trust the bad guys as easy as they trust the good guys.
Good point.
I think we help people realize. I don't know, man. They're not sheep. They feel like it. They think they are. They may not realize they are. But this kind of goes back to the question of that, Scott, where you joined up, the love and understanding. Can you love those people who are confused, and can the confused actually love? That's a good question.
Well, that's two different things. I know I can love those who are confused, so that's feasible. And can the confused love? Not sure about that second part. Depending how confused you are, motherfucker might be hearing fucking voices or something. I don't know what he's capable of.
Confusion and love. It's interesting.
They fall in love with their abusers. There is some sick things that happen with
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
Stockholm syndrome. That's interesting.
All right.
You think the sheep has Stockholm syndrome?
Is some yes, to a huge degree, right? That's what the government is selling. Will protect you and take care of you, and they are the abuser. Stockholm syndrome would fit that definition. Would fit really well.
Who was it? Benjamin Franklin said, "Those who give up security, or those who give up liberty in the name of security, deserve neither."
I thought that was Madison. I could be wrong.
One of those guys. Yeah.
It's wisdom.
Those who give up security for freedom deserve neither.
Well, and that's what's been happening.
I'm sorry, freedom for security deserve neither.
I always get it mixed up. Yeah. Sentiment's there though. Mob mentality. You see a lot of that now. A lot of people are just fucking following somebody on Twitter, following somebody on YouTube.
Yeah.
People are just following other people.
And you can tell when you question them, they just spout the same words that you've heard. If you try to get them to follow a line of logic or how they got there, they can't arrive there. Like a kid who can't do the math, can't show his work.
They just
That's
recite
what I
the
was
point, but yeah, sorry, go ahead, Jack.
Thank you. Sorry, that's what I was pointing out earlier, is that in this day and age with all the electronics and all the information, it's real easy for people to become misled.
Agreed.
And then as they are misled, then they start misleading others. So
Agreed.
we may be following someone who doesn't even realize that they're misleading.
So,
Right?
Jack, would you take the button? We're going, all communities going to get together. All these people spreading that misleading. We're going to give you the button. You decide what information is misleading, and you nix it in the butt. You're interested?
Who's going to determine?
You are. We're giving you the button, the misleading button. Are you
No.
interested?
At
You're
this
not.
point,
Power. That's a
at
lot of power in 2024 right there.
yeah,
Age of
no.
information.
You're not interested.
See, and at this point, this is part of the path. This is a crazy. This is the exciting part of our lives. Every one of us, get to develop our own levels of discernment, and it's up to each of us to develop our levels of discernment, and we can help work with others too. But growing through our levels of discernment, I see a future where when people are misleading, they will be responsible for doing so.
In what
Right
way? How?
What's that?
In what way? How?
Well, right now, let me show how it's not. We've got news media, news anchors, all these people in different positions who are misleading. They know that only part of the story is being told.
Newscasters, politicians are two great groups, and they do not get punished for the things they do. I agree. In the
They get
future,
rewarded.
they get rewarded. In the future, they'll be punished. You say, I'm curious how and what do you see? In what way? What will be their punishment?
Not as much punishment as it is correction. People won't enable it, right? Because
Okay.
right now, the
It's rewarded, and they just
are
enable right
rewarded.
now. It's rewarded. So at some point, you see people telling them what it is, and not appreciating that shit. That's what you see, I think.
Absolutely. In today's world and the way I was taught and shown, if you don't like someone, well, that means you just got to go purchase somewhere else, right? You got to put your money elsewhere.
Right.
I think in the future, we move beyond that and we actually look at the facts and what is really going on, rather than just the economic impacts.
That could mean a couple things. How you doing, Moose?
Yes.
Moose.
Welcome, Moose.
What's up, Joe?
It's good, baby.
Jeremy, S2B.
Hey,
It's
Joe.
good to see you guys. Looking good.
Feeling good.
Moose Man Jack.
I think the internet has a lot to do with that too. You've got a lot more information on hand now, so like discovering the truth, talking to other people, it's a little bit easier to know what's going on as opposed to say 10, 20 years ago when you received from the.
It would help. I was being a little sarcasm with Jack. Would he take the button? He chose correctly. You don't want that button. It'd be easier with all this technology for us to find answers and information if someone got their finger off that button and then decide, oh, that's too bad. People don't need to hear that. Oh, that's too extreme. People shouldn't hear that. Then I can make up my own mind. Get your hand off the button. If the guy KKK is telling me about how come he don't like the black race and how we're apes or whatever the fuck it is, get your hand off the button and leave it open. I'm a grown man. I'll decide if this nigga nuts or not.
Yeah, I think it's up to the individual to discern for themselves, especially nowadays.
Joe.
Many agendas.
Joe, come on, Joe.
Joe.
Did I miss something? Should I be looking at chat?
I don't know.
Joe, you kind of a player, man.
I am absolutely have no understanding of that word. I am a one woman
Joe,
man.
can you hear me now?
I know of no such thing.
Hey, bro.
You in and out, Scott.
That it's easier to. Am I?
You good now?
What the fuck's going on? All right. Do you recall earlier in the broadcast when I was telling Joe or telling Jack, my dad once said it's easier to love a woman or try and understand her, but trying to do both is a conflict.
I did not see that part of the broadcast. But loving and
And
understanding a woman have nothing to do with each other.
that's a fact. And my point is if some woman is coming from left field on you with some
Yes.
shit and she's putting her heels in the ground, it's best to give her what the fuck she wants and move on and try and understand where that's coming from.
No, fuck that.
If not always cucking, I'm not saying
wait.
give
All
her
right.
what she wants, but
All right,
I'm saying
that's not a fucking option, right? You know, if you're in on some illogical bullshit, it's not even an option for me to give in to that bullshit. That's not even an option. And
can
if
you
I
fully
love that
understand a
person,
woman?
no, that's not even a thing. But if you love that person, you're going to give them the truth. You're going to be as nice as possible or be as kind as
Right.
possible. But that's what love is. That's what it looks like. And love also, I don't mean necessarily means move on. You guys may not have to be, y'all might not be right for each other or whatever. But if you love any person in fucking general, you try to hang in there, especially when you see shortcomings and shit.
Can I put it differently and say
Yeah,
choose your
please do, because
battles?
I might be being
Choose your
twisted.
battles.
With a woman, absolutely choose your battle and choose very fucking few of them. Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you. And the point is, don't try and understand everything because none of it's going to make
It's
sense at the
nonsense.
end.
Don't waste your time trying to understand that bullshit. It's all gaslighting. Don't even listen to it.
Thank
Just
you.
smile.
Now we got a
Oh,
real
no,
from the womb to the tomb.
no.
From the womb to the tomb, inhaling marijuana foods.
God. You guys are
Damn
nuts.
it, man! I
Here,
don't
I got
understand
it.
how you flash that wit. You ain't got none shit.
I got it.
Joe, you throwing it down like a real man in town. For real. I think these people need to learn something from you, cool.
Hey, I'm going to switch it. Did you guys see this clip earlier?
It doesn't look familiar to me.
This is just a couple of minutes. It was
All
shared
right.
by one of the viewers. I'm going to play this again.
Okay.
She's pretty solid in what she shares.
All right.
Oops.
Videos. Well, she's moving over to Instagram too, so y'all need to. She's got a really big account on TikTok, but she's moving to the gram. So I'm about to tag her. Y'all go check her out. And she actually wrote this book that she's reading. Listen to this.
We are living in a villain's world, and they designed it perfectly. We eat the food they give us, vote for one of two people that they tell us to, and watch the movies that they show. They take our attention as soon as we reach age 5, and they never give it back.
Woo.
We go to school for 8 hours a day learning what they want us to. They scold us until we obey, and then they praise us when we do. They make us form a habit of waking up and spending our entire day in a building that we wouldn't choose, so that when we get older, we are willing to do the same. Following orders becomes comfortable when we spend our childhood doing what we're told. So when we're older, we hesitate to stray outside the norm. They tell us that we should do anything we can to attend a university, because if we don't, we will fail. They manipulate us into financial dependency at a young age so that we stay liable to the system.
Ooh.
They've given us a currency that only has value because they say it does, and we receive it by working at a business that they own. Their millions become billions while the rest of us are forced to sacrifice our time for a minuscule fraction of what our work gains for them. They provide us housing, but make it costly so that we struggle to accumulate enough wealth to escape their system. Our supermarkets are full of brands that they possess, to the point that it is difficult to find ones that they don't. Our meals are either purchased from a store that they most likely own, or created with ingredients from their brand.
I know y'all seen Miss Morgan's videos. Well, she's moving over to Instagram.
All right. So
Who was they? I got a buddy, and I know who said. I forgot. Jeff, I think. He would say, "Who was they? They feed your food. They take your kids. They do this. They out. They blah blah blah. Who was they?"
it all
The
comes
system
down
of
to
the
us.
unconscious client.
What's
I
that?
didn't-
Hey, do you remember Muammar Gaddafi? Do you remember what he said? Obama wants to kill me, to take away the freedom of our country, to take away our free housing, our free medicine, our free education, our free food, and replace it with. Hang on just a second.
Yeah, I have no idea what he's talking about. Whose fault is it? Stop being a victim,
Listen,
people.
what he said. No. I'm just saying they killed him. Listen what he said. Muammar Gaddafi, before he was killed, you don't remember
Oh,
that,
okay.
Jack?
Yeah, I didn't hear you say Muammar Gaddafi in there anywhere, first of all.
Oh,
But
right at the
good.
beginning.
All
Obama
right.
wants to kill me to take away the freedom of our country, to take away our free housing, free medicine, our free education, our free food, replace it with American style thievery called capitalism. But all of us in the third world know what that means. It means corporations run the countries, run the world, and the people suffer.
Wait. You're talking Muammar Gaddafi, who had his own dictatorship, and he's shitting on another shitty
He
dictatorship. He
was
don't get
giving
no cool
everything to
points.
free. How is that a dictatorship if he was giving everything to free?
Wait,
He
wait.
was
Maybe,
misrepresented and mischaracterized by
In
much
this
of the
country, yes,
propaganda
they wanted to.
that's in the U.S. Um,
all right, I'm gonna have to look up because
now,
all I know him as is the
I'm not,
tyrant who was doing really horrible shit and
Nicer
not
guy than
saying he
that,
was
bro.
innocent because, yeah, I'm sure there was atrocities on many sides, but I've heard a lot of good
who's a
things about
fucking some smart up who knows something about Gaddafi. Let me see who's in chat. I need somebody to get their ass up here and tell
him.
me about
Yeah, hey, there
Gaddafi.
you go.
I just
So
told you about him, and you're asking for who? Somebody else?
Chuck, you know anything about Gaddafi, Chuck?
um, I don't know. The what he offered though about the observations on America, that's actually more important because I think those observations are accurate. What if that was allegedly true that Obama was offering those things or
Of
presenting
course it
those?
was true. Yes.
Yeah,
You
well,
want to
that's
hear
what
something,
America is.
Joe?
Go
You
ahead.
want to hear something, Joe?
Yeah.
Look back on this one if you're going to look it up. He actually said this. They will create a virus and then sell you the antidote.
Yep.
Yes, I agree. I
No,
was
but Gaddafi said this before they killed him. Part of that whole shit.
And look at where we are at today. We've got to look at the news and I mean look at the information that's available and listen to the words of some of these people. These people who are being put on the news, they're telling us what's going on. They're focused completely on economics. And economics just means, well, means wealth, not so much people, not so much health. We've been brainwashed and deceived. The way it has happened has been brilliant. You know, one of the ideas I didn't get into, but I thought about recently is evil has a long game, right?
It's an enlightened hand that's doing this.
Okay, yes. Well, the enlightened, those who were enlightened but possessed by selfishness, they have been the visible darkness that has led humanity, right? Through the industrial age and through the Cold War era and into where we are today. It's been the visible darkness that's been leading us. So now I believe it's time to flip the script. It is time for the light to shine.
it's been time. So
Amen.
that's just like in my opinion,
I
feel
agree.
good talk.
What?
Now is
Yeah.
the time. That's feel good preacher talk to me. It's I've been hearing that.
What's
Well,
the
Now is the
move?
time to do
What's
that
the
helps
move?
me none. Yeah.
we got
Yeah.
some
What's the
catching up
move?
to do. What's that, Scott?
What's the move?
The move. Well, the truth shall free us. The truth shall set us free.
So
Individual.
the move is to start telling the truth more often and hold other people more accountable to the truth.
Amen.
All
Seek
right.
the truth, own the truth, know the truth, share the truth. But
But
it's
what's
so
the truth?
important.
It's so there's so many truths out there, and then there's so many
Figure it out.
misrepresentations.
Yeah, that's a bad argument, Scott. The answer is you will use your discernment and follow that. Yes, it's scary out there. It's a lot of dangerous potholes. Just do use your
That's
discernment,
the,
figure it out, do the best you can every day, and uh, that's the best you can do. That's all you can fucking do.
I
and the
do
best,
tend to go ahead. Sorry.
well, I want to remind the best way to do that is self-awareness. Paying attention to
Yes.
you. What am I saying? Is my words true? Because if my words aren't true, I need to correct myself. I don't want
Educate
that to be.
yourself. I
Yeah,
suggest some of the Eastern philosophies. You know, they put truth in that shit that Jack is talking about, where you have to follow and live a certain way. They put that shit way up there, give it high priority. So a lot of them have been chasing truth. So you follow them, and they'll be dropping bombs on you all day.
there you go.
Philosophy. Well, I don't know what it is so much now, but the definition back then, back in like Socrates' days, was a quest for the truth. That's what philosophy was, a quest for the truth. So when two of them was going at it, it was they were trying to find the truth. It was great, man. Yeah, it was great.
Absolutely.
There's less. Go ahead. There's less
just
and less tug of wars. I was going to say these days.
Yeah, it's ego shit now. Yeah,
That's all full on bullshit. Yeah.
hey, I softened your mic just a little bit, Joe. And
okay.
Paul was he politely he left a note. He was continuing on his day. He just stepped out. So
All right.
I believe good terms.
You can hope for the best, Jack. Keep hoping.
Yes, I do. I continue to hope for the best. I think Paul's pretty amazing.
Hey, just
Anyway.
love. Don't try and understand.
I'm tired of working with inferior slaves. I do care. I do love these people.
See? So
Damn, you're gonna.
I saw a guy
returning the honor. Go ahead.
There's a guy. His name's Generally Specific, and Anarchy TV. He has another name, Wingnut. He sent me a clip of this guy, and it was really cool. It was kind of in Paul mode that you saw in that clip, and he was like, "I'm tired of you insufferable indoor cats thinking you run shit. You don't run jack. Jack left town years ago. And God damn it, your betters are trying to understand you." Just the arrogance that he was talking. I thought it was great. He sent me a clip of that. So I go over to the guy's room, and I don't even know the guy, and I said something, and like, "Hey, somebody sent me a clip of you." He's like, "Hey, send me the clip," and he emailed me. I emailed him the clip, and later on, I go over there, and he's talking about those shitty immigrants are coming in, and they're gonna give some type of call. He called it a whistle, or only they can hear it. And at that moment, they were all going to rush into your houses and and take your shit. And you better be armed. And the police won't protect you because they're all liberals, so and so. So I was like, "Oh, who the fuck is this dude?" Blah blah blah. Anyway, he got really angry with me, and I think I didn't make a friend that night. It's a good story, but now that I think about it, it's a long story. It's really good.
You gotta love those though, Joe. As long as they're good.
It's a good fucking story. He's mad. I called in Wright's Crispy because Wright's is Cuban, and Wright's came over there and he jumped on Wright's and a couple more auditors. By the time I left, he was calling us feds and all of that bullshit. Yeah, come on.
We know you're an agent, Joe. We know.
He is. It's quite clear. Who exactly he's an agent for, though? That's
chaos. Remember, get smart, chaos. He's an agent of chaos.
Right. I know. Hey,
cool chaos.
This is something. There's some words coming out of the chat here. Life feeds on life. It is an uncomfortable truth, and that can be an ugly part of life, but it can also be done with gratitude and reverence, with appreciation. And the universe is hostile. It has been, but the hostility of the universe doesn't have to convert us into hostile beings. I've been owning this claim myself.
I like that Red 40.
If I'm a child of God, I am here in God's kingdom. No one owns this land. I'm free to roam. Now, I roam freely, but with respect. I seek to understand others and not obey their rules, but I do abide by the wishes of those who I encounter.
Yeah.
Do you know who David Attenborough is? Have I
Yeah,
asked you this, Jack?
I don't know.
The British
Doug,
cat,
look.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
did a series. Hang on just a second. The David Attenborough just did his what he called his Mona Lisa, so to speak. It was his latest documentary about how he began, how he got into this, who paid for it, where he's been, the different things he's done, and then what it's brought to him as far as knowledge. And his takeaway at the end of this, without ruining it too much, I'll just say that we have gone to half of what we had when he started a mere 50 years ago. And now that's half of the resources with fucking 10 times the people.
Yeah.
Big problem.
No, wait.
So what's the
No.
solution?
All right. What do you think? Because you're painting a picture here that U.S. is suddenly
The
short
forest
on.
deforestation.
You think we're short on forest over here in the U.S. and what
The
other
whole world.
resources?
The whole
In the
world.
world.
Oh, I thought you were
Oh,
talking
that's
about
the
just the
animals.
U.S.
No.
Yeah, we're
No,
fortunate
this is
over
a
here.
worldwide
Australia's
problem.
fortunate. Some of us have massive amounts of land.
Well,
This is killing the planet. Though. You have
what
to
Scott,
understand this isn't going to be good if the rest of it goes sour. It's gonna have a massive effect on climates. It's going to take massive fucking. There's
well,
that's why you probably see what they're doing in an effort to say, hey, we fucked up, but we can't tell you. So they're trying to push people closer to city centers to try. The only answer from what Attenborough said was to let the wild go back to be wild again, because we have gone
right.
in and man has chosen to
We
fuck
can,
up wild.
yes, we've chosen to defy nature, oppose nature. We've become unnatural in our living. And what Scott's talking about,
It's unsustainable.
I may have seen that, and I think I know what you're talking about. Attenborough did a great of an immense amount of work, highlighting some of the things of nature and the
Coral
path.
reefs dying off, massive coral reefs dying off.
Some of that is already recovering. Some of these things are not necessarily directly related to man, but they are part of the changes that the earth is going through. Regardless, because of the patterns of consumption of man, I don't think we have a population problem as much as we do a consumption, production, and waste.
Exactly. The way we do things. Yeah, I agree with that. It ain't the
Yeah,
population, it's the way we go about things. We just decide to cut down one entire area, then go to the next. When we could plant trees and go about our business, and then 20 years later, you can do the same shit. You hurt nobody.
the only reason I would say we have a population problem is because we have fucking let's say 2 generations now that haven't learned to garden and take care of themselves at all. So if our mechanized or our
Again, it's not
industrialized
the
food,
population, it's what we're
Yeah,
teaching. It's the
that's an
teaching and the
education
education. It's
problem.
not the population again.
Yep.
Especially
but the
now when we know we
population
have the
could.
technology to feed all them niggas if we
What
use
if
it
we're too
properly.
late? What if we're too late and
We're
that we haven't
clearly
gotten it
not.
going?
We
Yeah,
could
we're not.
No.
we could feed all of those people if the priority was to feed people right now. As much money as we put in the military and shit,
Oh,
we'd be the best fed
ain't like
fucks
that.
on the planet with the
Yep.
same population.
That
It
I
is
agree
not the
with. That
population.
yes, yes, 100%. I agree with that. But there's a catch-22 in my opinion. It's easier to join them than to beat them, especially if they're the ones with the tanks, the guns, and the fucking
Well,
everything. So
Scott,
taking the military. Okay, Jack, I'll defer to you on this one. My thought would be, how do you get the military to give up some, not all their money or anything, or help us with a plan? Because I don't think you're going to get them to just turn over the keys.
military was just you could have inserted anything there. You didn't have to dwell on military. I just meant
That's
if our
big money. The
focus I
It
just meant
is.
if our focus was to cure hunger, we could do it with the available shit we have available now. That's all I was saying. I didn't mean to comment on the military in particular.
Well,
Jack's whole
it
channel is about stopping endless wars, and there
true.
you go. Get that
And
money out of there, and there's tons of money. What did I hear? A javelin missile was like $25,000 when they started the Iraq War. Today it's only like 40 million. What?
right. Well, yes, we've got insanity. Absolute insanity has infected the world. The majority of the world is insane from unhealed trauma, from greed, from fear, from confusion. I mean, it is biblical in proportions. The flood of
Corporatocracy is idiocracy.
we have the opportunity to change it all. We have the opportunity to bring reforms through non-violent actions, through purposeful communication with the intentions, not to punish, not to destroy, but to correct. And if we can bring the correction through our administration of the government, if we can bring correction so that the truth is honored in the halls of Congress instead of these friggin' lobbyists or
Okay, if we're gonna do that, if we're gonna bring truth to that office,
yep.
I don't think, and I know this is your approach. I don't think I'm with Scott. It might be too late to talk to the people the way the structure's set up. It's structured so that these people have too much to lose, and their whole living and everyone who they know and live on is part of that system. Blah blah blah. Trying to talk them down is not the wisest move in my opinion. I'd go backwards. I'd make the rules where that type of person who does those things can't get in there. So you'd have to have some rules where you can't have lobbyists. They can't take any fucking money. The turnover will have to be quick. You can't have a 50-year motherfucker who's been in there for 50 years entrenched. You can't have it. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine.
Everyone talks so much of what we can, would, should do. No one addresses how. No one dares address how.
I thought I was going down that path, right? Exactly as you interrupted me. I was
well, but then here I've got Dominic saying true, let alone why. So is there a lack of explanation as to why we should address corruption?
Why we should address the corruption? I thought that's what I was explaining. How to address the corruption.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Yes.
I'm sorry. Are you talking to Dominic right now? Maybe I'm not up on the conversation or something.
Please continue.
I'm lost. Keep going.
We'd have to make it impossible for that type of politician or powerful person to be in the position of power or to wield those things. Any incentive,
What's the best way?
What's the best way? I think we'd have to change the laws. The laws would have to be, if they get caught taking any money, you're out of there. It's against the law. You're gonna do time. That way, your opinion has the same weight as the head of IBM. IBM can't go in there and say, I represent 3 million employees, and so my shit's more powerful than Jackson Joe's shit. You got to strip that shit. Now it's more on equal footing. A corporation can't come in and buy more. That's got to go. That 50-year entrenched shit. If I know I ain't going nowhere, I'll act a fool. If my job is at risk, I'll act better. You got to find a way to turn over quicker. Transparency would be a must. If they do something bogus and you can't find a way, the people got to be able to get up in there and get your ass out in the spur of the moment. If we don't dig it,
accessibility.
Yes, accessibility.
Got to be accessible to us.
And we're talking about at levels we haven't seen before. There is no, I'm going through so and so, and they're gonna look at this first. Shit, no. We got to be able to walk up in there when they're unexpected and be like, listen, I'm going to need those financial records from yesterday and the meeting so-and-so's out, be over here having a pop, get that ready for me. No lip, go get them documents
No,
for me.
see, this is where I think you and I might have some disagreements, because you initially started with rewriting the laws, but insisting on punishment and threat,
Wait, I'm talking about transparency here.
I know.
I didn't mean punishment and threat.
We moved on to transparency, but when you first started, you were talking about rewriting the laws. And rewriting the laws, you said, so it would be enforced, that people would be afraid to do what is wrong.
Yes.
And then when you're talking about being able to go to these people and say, go get this, as though they work directly for you. No, they don't work directly for you.
Close enough. I'm not saying that I'm the guy who cut their checks. Close enough. Their entire existence is dependent upon me. Do you agree that it's public, meaning it's mine? Do we agree there to start?
It's ours.
It's ours, right? It's part yours. It's part mine. It's community so-and-so. So, and we hired you to look after our park or whatever the fuck it is. So when I go to the park, this person, if they get in my way, and if I go to get on a swing and this person gives me the lip, you are not cut out for the job. You do not understand your position. All right, now bring that over to the paperwork. When I come in there and say, listen, you guys had a meeting last night. I need a transcript of that meeting, and I need the salaries of these 3 workers. I'm going to go over here to the vending machine, get a pop. That's to give you time to get that ready. That's to be it. That's to be all set. That's not aggressive. That's the job. It's not mean. That's why I said these are transparencies at levels most people are not going to be comfortable with. But that's what the transparency is going to look like.
We're close. You and I are very close. But these people serving in these roles, their duty is not just, it is to the greatest good. This is what I used to keep in mind for myself when I was a public servant, a postal employee. My opinion wasn't as important, and even the boss's opinion wasn't as important as what the rules were. Right. And so that's kind of the mindset you're taking, is the rules are what is most important. And the rules are, this is my place and this is there for this purpose.
And I'd add a little more on there. I'd say that guy on the other side of the counter that walked in, even if he's in a bad mood, he's more important than the rules. This whole thing does exist to serve him. That is the honest to God truth. It is not meant to give me a job. It is not meant to feed my kids. It is to serve him. That's why it's in the name, to remind you that you are a public servant. That don't mean you got to bend, bow, or be mistreated. But understand, whatever rules you created were to serve him. That's why the rules exist. They cannot be more important than the guy that walked in. You don't understand that. I can see the quizzical look on your face.
No, I allowed my mind to drift for just a moment. Margot Davey, you are free to leave this stream. And if you can't change your attitude and stop being so closed-minded and adamant about your disrespect you offer towards me, you can take your happy ass away, change your attitude, or I'm going to block you and don't want you back here, Margot.
Did not watch the chat, but
well, I just backed it up and to see that one, and I got to tell you, shit like that, that's like lightweight troll shit. It's barely even shit register. That's kind of, to me, this is just me. I know it's different than you. This is your room, your world. But to me, all that girl did was express her opinion with a little bit of troll, a little bit of spice on it. That's lightweight shit. That's what I saw.
So what?
So what?
Yeah.
So I guess.
So what does that mean?
I was what's his name? Scott was asking, he missed something. And I was telling him what he missed. Lightweight trolling with a lot of truth attached.
A lot of truth attached.
Tuesday, it was just normal shit, Scott, in my opinion.
A lot of truth attached. Slight trolling.
It was slight trolling because she knows.
What does that mean? So does that mean you're painting the picture to Scott that I was overreactive? That
you're doing that right now. He got eyes. He can see it right now, right? No.
Yeah, I'll go back.
Yeah, I'm telling you what the comment was something. Oh, it was something like, what it means is that you need to stop telling people what truth is and go out and participate at a park or a rally. Lightweight shit, in my opinion. But the fact that it's got you so tense and triggered, that's why I say it was lightweight troll too.
Hey,
she
Joe.
knows that you'd fall for that. Hey, what? Hey, yeah.
Tense and triggered?
Yeah, whenever you're doing it. Hey, Joe, interrupting me to call my name. It's a good sign that you're tense and triggered. Yes. There's the truth. Yeah.
So again, Joe, you keep getting so fucking confident, so proud of you. That's the truth. So fucking proud of what you point out, but I'm not finding any relevance. What is your point? I see what you're doing.
Jack,
let me hear your explanation. What is your point, Joe?
My explanation is Scott said he missed something in chat. I told him what I thought he missed, and now you're cursing what your fucking ass. You done lost your fucking mind. I'm not even trying to make a point. I think you are. You're fucking mad. I saw it happening from the comments. I thought the girl was smart. I saw all this shit develop, man.
You smart. Yeah, you saw
I said,
all,
I thought
Joe.
she's smart. I said,
Jack, why are you creating a dismissiveness towards this? Where he just obviously gave an opinion. All right, and
as did she.
I don't know. Everybody can't. Everybody can't kowtow to everybody else, Jack, and I don't think we should try and do it to you either. We're just moving on, and that's the way it should be. Well, you want him to describe.
Scott?
Why are you upset over that?
I'm not upset.
His point is that he wants to be able to express his opinion without being jumped on, I think is his point. When he said kowtow, some people make you walk around on eggshells and shit. He don't want to walk on eggshells is his point.
He doesn't have to be here.
Agreed.
Well, no,
he knows that. There's an X right there on the right-hand side. He knows that.
Simple to find that fucking button. But Jack, we try and be supportive.
You guys
but not submissive.
Problem, Scott. You keep
supportive, but not submissive.
Keep walking on them eggshells.
Right. And in the meantime, you're being disruptive and unhelpful.
Well, you're being dismissive.
I'm about sick of your opinions, Scott.
Because you have the truth. You corner the fucking truth. Is that it, Jack?
I'm honest about my experience.
Dude, that's where this is going, man. Yes.
So, Joe, you started my disappointment, I'll be honest with you, because you don't seem to care about my perception.
Well, I don't care about your perception of whether you think I care.
Okay,
I don't care.
All right. I won't finish.
No.
Please, what were you saying?
No, I'm saying you're right. I don't care about your perception of what I perceive and all of that. You're going through mental shit, and I can't fucking let it affect me and shit like that. No, I don't. What
you could do instead of trying to be so proud of paying attention and repeating everything you see, maybe you could do a better job of trying to understand, Joe.
Yeah.
Because your conclusions. Your conclusions about me and you and Margot are not quite accurate, all right?
Well, they're mine. I can only give my conclusions.
So do you care? Do you care to be right, or do you want to continue to piss me off with your arrogance?
Well, no, I don't care about pissing you off is what you don't understand. I'd rather tell my truth. And I'm not going to change by now. You know that.
But Joe, what you're refusing to accept, if you just try to understand instead of being so fucking right.
I get it. You're mad, right? Make
Do you
your point.
understand your part?
Do you understand my part? Yes.
You're being
Whenever
all
my truth
dismissive.
reflects something that you don't like, you get angry. I know that, and I'm not going to stop,
Joe,
though.
Why? Why don't you care to understand? Do you
I don't do eggshells. It's not a matter of
That's not
understanding.
what
I
you're being asked.
understand
Joe,
that it will
hey,
piss you
hello,
off. I don't
Joe.
do walking on eggshells.
Joe,
Yeah.
chill the fuck out. Take a
I'm
breath.
fine. I'm fine.
No,
Go
you're
ahead.
not fine.
Sure I am. I
Jack,
feel fine.
relax.
Go ahead.
Count to five. Count to five, Jack, please. Count to 10, maybe, if you need
I'm
to.
trying
Relax.
to have a conversation, and the moment I say anything, Joe's so fucking quick to argue.
That's not fair.
I didn't know I was
That's
arguing. I'm
not
just
always fair.
disagreeing with you. I'll bring it down if it'll make shit better. I'm okay with that. But I'm just disagreeing. I don't mean to be argumentative.
Okay, well, Joe, this is the point.
Go ahead.
You have an opportunity to better understand. Now, if you're gonna, if you're looped in this fucking idea that you can't agree with someone without blind compliance, and that's not what I'm asking for. I'm just asking for you to understand instead of being so fixed on fucking judging me, dude.
I don't know that I am.
You're not.
Listen, I give. Oh, I thought you were done. I don't mean to interrupt if I was interrupting. Well, maybe you weren't done because you look like you're angry or something. Maybe I interrupted you.
Thank you. All I wanted to point out is that I know you don't see that you're doing it. It's not
if you. Well,
ahead, please.
Then your anger in that case is misplaced. You have no footing for your anger. If you just acknowledge that I don't understand.
Which I did, and then you didn't want to accept, and then you wanted to argue with me and prove me wrong.
It's your perception again.
Joe, it's what fucking happened. So please.
I know I didn't see myself arguing. That's your perception.
Mm-hmm.
When people say certain things, you see it as an attack. I'm not arguing. You see me as trying to. Listen, here's some truth. Listen to this. Here's the truth. Yes, it sucks. I ain't being harsh here. But when you see a person criticize you in a certain direction, you're gonna think it's an attack, and you're gonna attribute certain things to that person that aren't their responsibility. Okay, I understand that, and it looks dismissive when I don't let it give me baggage. That's what's happening here. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Whew, holy shit. Hey, Jack.
Yeah.
Jack, take a couple deep breaths for me. Do me a favor. I want you to think about this. Are you sure?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sure.
Think about this.
Wondering
Joe
what
Cool.
my purpose is here anymore. But
well, no. That's a cop out. That's a cop out. Come on.
With this,
your purpose is to figure out your fucking problems and to move forward solutions.
Yeah, with people who want to help me rather than just fucking scold me and tell me that I'm not.
Joe said he's going to be honest with you, and okay, the first thing you could do if you're going to live without fear is fucking trust yourself and your truth. You're honest.
I do.
Kudos, Joe, for being honest.
I've been listening.
Yes, but listen,
thank you,
Scott,
Joe, for being honest about what you think. But you're missing
Scott,
the mark.
It's his It's his opinion.
Yes.
It's his feeling.
What?
Well, I mean, you know,
doesn't
you
change
shouldn't
the.
try and. You shouldn't
Sorry,
try
I
and
interrupted.
assume.
Go ahead, Joe.
Well, my apologies. I'm just trying to say you shouldn't try and assume that you can change his disposition without a lot of effort on your behalf.
You don't get to get angry even if you're unsuccessful at it, whatever it is. Anger is not an option. You have your opinion, and if I don't like it or whatever, you don't see me getting mad at me and yelling at you. I'm not entitled to do so. I can't force you to do anything. I cannot get mad at you for that.
Holy
in the same way, if you don't like my opinion, you're not entitled to get mad. I don't know who taught you that. They were wrong.
I would go so far as you're not entitled to say that they're in their feelings.
And I've had enough.
May I say something, Jack? This is trying to help you, and it's being honest. Okay? Because you're dismissive. You want to live without fear, you should take the truth. You should take what people have to say Attribute what you think it can help you to helping you and forget about the rest. Be honest with yourself.
Yes, just do that, man. Joe had something good there. The rest is nonsense. Move on. That's it. It's not difficult. You don't have to chide me and explain.
Isn't that fascinating? Brothers and sisters, holy cows, holy cows.
It may be, if you pay attention, get deep on yourself, man. Figure it this way. Joe's not
Would
here
you
trying to
shut
kick you
up?
in the balls. Yeah, oh, that's nice.
Actually,
Yeah,
that's a
that's
rude. I don't have to ask. I don't have to ask.
What
Joe,
did he say? What happened?
I put him in the back. I'm done. He's
all
flipping
right.
me off because he feels
Oh,
insulted.
how
and
could you tell? I didn't even see it.
You know, you guys want to sit here and just let me. How long do I have to sit here and listen to this bullshit? Tell you what, Joe, don't answer it. I'll answer it myself. I don't have to continue. So, brothers and sisters, despite the narratives, I had the reasons for my choices. I had the reasons I did interrupt and the reasons I tried to bring up certain things. And there was a reason I timed Margot out. So, and that's despite the narratives of others. I really, I love living. I love life. I love people. I love God. I love me. And despite the narratives that have been painted about me and all the things I'm not doing, all the things I'm failing to do properly or good enough, there's actually a lot of light, a lot of encouragement, and a lot of positivity that's being shared through me. Now, unfortunately, it seems like for the viewers who tune in for the positivity, I apologize. I will continue to improve. I prefer for positivity to be shared here, but for the love of God, you know what? This is my life. Praise God. And I thank you, God, that I get to live the life that I do. I praise God and thank you that you share in this adventure with me, because I trust that God has me perfectly aligned and is bringing the world, not just me, but is bringing us all together. God is bringing us all together for a greater world to be revealed. You know, the thumbnail about getting to the heart of what is real, right? Seeking the truth. The only way we can truly know that we can truly know anything is if we understand it. Understanding and knowing go together. In order to understand something, you must accept it. You must be willing to receive the information, receive that which is. So love and understanding, those all, they go together because the love and the truth go together. This world has taught us to be confused. The world has taught us to be deceived. The world has misled us into deceiving ourselves. And brothers and sisters, if we want to be free, the truth is that which frees us. Humble yourself to the truth. Now, admittedly, as I'm saying these words, obviously I could have practiced this a little better today. I could have offered forth more humility towards Scott, towards Joe, towards Margot, towards many of the others. I could have. Does anyone wonder what else they could have offered? I do. Because all I was seeking was a little fellowship and time where I could maybe shine here with others. And Scott, let's see what Scott's got to say. Calling me all sorts of, you're muted, brother. You're muted. You're in the back making a show about my your disagreement with my words. You wanted to make sure I saw it. So
dude,
how am I wrong, Scott?
You tell me how you're right. How is it everyone is out here trying to hurt you when we're actually
Didn't
talking to
say
you and
that.
saying, okay,
I
well, that's just
didn't
our
say that. See, if
tell
you're
me what
upset about words you thought, maybe you should pay more attention to the words I say.
you're here trying to share your experience and you're trying to share the truth. And I think, Jack, that you can't always corner the truth. You could be more
I
patient,
don't
like you
claim
said. You
to.
could have been more
Don't
kind.
claim to. I claim to
Then
be
when
true
people,
about. I claim to know the truth about me, Scott.
Jack, if you listen to yourself, if you go back and just replay your stream, fucking the last
Hey,
5,
Scott, let's move forward. You want me to go repeat the past, go live in the past like you, and
it
I'm
has nothing to do.
succeeding.
It's just it's cyclical. You're going to say the same thing, and you're going to
No,
say,
Scott, you're going
"Come
to
to me,
continue
follow."
hearing the same thing. So, all right, tell you what, I brought you
It's
back up. Let me
verbatim
shut
what
up.
you say.
You take over the show. This is yours. Your time to shine. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a couple questions, then, Jack. As in the days before and today, you have said many times that if people would just listen to you, then they would understand. My question is, what would they understand?
Maybe the topics I'm discussing,
No,
because you
no,
don't
no.
seem to discuss the topics I'm discussing.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
You take
What?
what I say and you think of things and then you deflect from the conversations. So to answer your question, people would understand the things I'm discussing more if they listened and tried to understand me.
Okay. Now, when people have a different opinion than you, when people start asking you, Jack, I see it this way, and this is what I see, and you go, well, that's because you don't understand, or you don't pay attention, or because you don't know the truth. Is it the fact that they don't know the truth? Because it seems like at times, and I'm just saying, it does seem like more than one, more than two, sometimes multiple people have the same disposition. And you will uniformly say everybody's wrong.
No, I don't. That's an exaggeration and a minimization. You're bringing in what opinion as authority. You've imagined an authority of some group that I don't know, and then generalized some accusation against me in your claim. Scott, you're not being honest, and
I'm
this
not
is
trying to be I'm
not
not
any
trying to
way to
point
resolve.
different I'm not trying to point people out or say things. I just think that, Jack, that
You're
honestly,
trying to prove yourself right and trying to prove me
I don't need
wrong.
to be
And
right
I
for
don't I
anything.
don't respect, I don't really appreciate it. So
I'm
Scott,
not trying to.
let's remember where you are, what my
Oh,
goal
that's
is.
it. I understand where I am, Jack. I know fully well where I am. Let's go back. Let's take it down a notch, okay? Because I am grateful for a lot of my life, and I'd like you to be grateful too. Hang on just a second, would you? Let me just give me a second. Excuse me.
Sure. You bet. My hope is to find
Hey,
resolution.
Jack. All right, let's calm it down. Let me just say, peace, brother. I love where you come from and where you're going, and I know you got a lot of uncertainty ahead of you. And I'm not trying to complicate things, and I hope you have things figured out. So I don't even know what you have ahead of you, honestly. So let me not say that. I just want to say I do try and come up with a level of help, a level of consciousness to hold on a second. Let me get this. The dog's fucking with this thing. Hang on. Got it. The I do want to help you with a little of I don't know, and I'm not the one to tell you to be self-accountable. We all have to be somewhat self-accountable. And when you yell at people because you don't hear them, and then you tell them, well, they're not listening to you, that's little duplicitous. And I don't know if you need to go back and look at the
Well,
stream.
Scott, what if I'm right? You
What
haven't
if you're
even
not? That's your
considered
go-to.
the
You tell everybody
results.
they
If
haven't considered.
Scott, then give me
Yep.
one fucking specific rather than go back and rewatch some stream to try and figure out what Scott remembers. How about you be more honest and let's be forthright? Where can we find resolve? Because I allege you are looping in the past, you're looping in your opinion, and you are actually reluctant to accept the truth about me.
Jack, when I said simply at the beginning,
So you're going to
what I
just
said,
ignore everything I just said.
I'm going to say the truth. Why am I ignoring what you said? The truth about you. I'm trying to level it to you straight how I feel, but give you a picture to look at rather than just say, Jack, a lot of people don't believe what the fuck you're saying. They think that you're
Scott,
talking.
what
Speak.
is the point? I mean, I'm sitting
There's
here
no
as
point in
you're
saying that because
imagining
you won't take
stuff
it.
from other people. What is your point?
What is the point? There is no
What would you
point,
like
Jack.
for me to do? What would you like
Get
to
better. I
achieve?
mean,
What may I offer to you so that you find a different opinion of me?
You want to know the truth? Stop believing in fucking fairy tales. I mean, this thing where I see every single time, literally, I came up. The only reason PU, your buddy PU, came up was to fucking try and shit on me. And you let that happen without regard and thinking that you were
Oh
going to
my
sucker him
God, are
in.
you
You
fucking
wanted to
kidding me?
suck his
You
hind
little
tit.
victim
No,
bitch.
I'm not
What
being a
the
fuck.
hell is this?
You saw an opportunity to try
So
and do
you're
something,
here
and
to
you hoped he
present
was
me.
here for you. He
Holy
wasn't.
shit.
He
Okay.
wasn't here for you.
All
He'd
right.
still be here.
So what?
He didn't have another night.
Scott, you're
He didn't
not
have any.
here for
He
me.
wanted content
Scott,
off of you.
Scott, are
I'm not
you
here
here
for any
for me?
content. I'm
You're
here for
not
you
here
because
for
I'm
me.
your fucking content, dipshit.
This isn't the content I
You
want.
don't need it. You need
I don't
better
want
content.
you
I
here.
agree, but you cycle into this PU bullshit. You think
Scott,
you're PU. You're knocking people
you're
off stream. You don't listen
describing.
to Joe. You don't listen to a motherfucking person, not even the man in the mirror that's telling you, Jack, clean up your act.
Wow.
And I know he's telling you
Scott,
that. I'm
what
sorry.
the
I'm just the only one
fuck?
that'll be honest with you. Let's
Scott,
hear it.
you are out of your fucking mind, dude. You're unbelievable, man. You muted yourself. Now that I can finally see your face, now I don't hear you. My hands have been here, dumbass.
You talk. I'm not talking. I'm listening to you. Explain yourself now. I told you how I feel. I was honest. You fucking be honest. For once, tell me how you're the fucking absolute person we should listen to. You have the truth, and I just don't pay attention. Tell me how that's fucking true. Show me an example of where you've done anything to prove that statement.
Holy fuck.
I'll wait.
You just imagined a statement which I've never made, I've never claimed.
You
fucking
completely
arrogant,
make it to.
You are a duplicitous deceiver. An absolute duplicitous deceiver. You know what, Scott? I'm going to call it. You're controlled by demons. Get out, Satan. You opposer. You that which disrupts and opposes the truth.
The guy that thinks he's Christ is calling me Satan?
Yeah. Holy crap. Scott, you're confused, man, and you're sitting here gaslighting, trying to present a case against me, a false claim against me, and with the expectation I defend myself. Scott, wake the fuck up. Brothers and sisters, if you guys see this, what I am dealing with, okay, this is what the egos do. The ego, you can't tell. I mean, it's someone who's out of their mind with so ready, convicted, and convinced they must be right. It's like a juvenile child. Why are they behaving that way? Because if it turns out they're wrong, it's going to shatter some of their beliefs. And this is what I've been facing, brothers and sisters, what we are witnessing of this false accusation, no real intention for resolve. What I've been dealing with Scott, with Paul Unslaved, with Margot, with many other people in this world. It is not my fault.
Jack, let's take it
Where
down a
is
notch.
God
This
right
is your
here?
channel.
God,
Let,
where
let,
is God? Where's God
he's
in
not.
this moment?
You
Are
just
you
called
hearing
me a
this? Are you
demon.
here in this moment?
Hold
Are you
on.
here in
Just
this
relax,
moment with me?
Jack. Yeah, I'm
Can
here.
we all be here
Right.
in
Are
this
you
moment
walking
with God?
this? Are you walking the Christed way?
I am here in this moment, present with love and awareness. Yes.
Thank you for being kind and wise. Jack, are you walking the Christed way?
In this moment, I am
Right
certainly.
now.
Like,
Just
why
okay,
would
so
you even
this
ask? I
moment.
mean,
This moment.
my
Okay.
thoughts are
The
pure
path
and
that's
loving
led you
and
to this
kind.
moment, has it been the walk that we would say is the
Hey,
way?
Scott, first
I'm
off,
asking. I'm just
fix
asking.
your video. Fix your video because this
I can
is
make
like,
it light. There's no
thank
problem. I just had it's
you.
all about the light. I mean, I
I
don't have to have
appreciate
the
it.
video on. I don't necessarily. Do you need it on?
Well, I'd prefer, yeah.
The
I mean,
light's
I'd
in my
love to be
eyes.
able,
The
I'd
light's
love
in
to,
my
okay.
eyes.
It's in your eyes
So
the other way. I understand. All right.
it's just
So Scott, since 2018, when I chose to try and
you froze. Hello, Jack.
hmm,
You froze. I didn't catch what you said.
yeah,
It's
I noticed.
2018.
Thank you. Yes, in 2018, when I discovered self-development and God, the two things together, I committed myself to both, to improving myself and to better understanding God. And so, Scott, since 2018, when as I lost all the comfort and structure of everything that I used to rely on, my family, my career, my job, my reputation, as all that stuff disappeared, yes, since 2018, I've been practicing living day by day, moment by moment, with surrender to God, with faith that I can overcome what has been happening, and with gratitude. So I've said this before, Scott. I'm not perfect, but I clumsily found my way to the way taught by Jesus. And that's why I'm consistently telling people, hey, just try to be more like him. And this is how you can do it: faith
Jack,
in God, love of another.
I'm sorry that I got a little bit over my skis on you and upset, but I'm human, just like the rest of us. And, to know you have teeth is important. It's to know not to use them is wise, is wisdom. Okay. The fact is, though, we all have teeth, and some of us don't even know that. Now, moving right along, the point was that earlier, Joe Cool brought up, or I asked him, and I guess Margot had put something in the chat, and then I went back and looked at it, and whether or not you want to revisit it or not, let's just revisit it. Fuck it, whether it's your channel or not, you can kill me later. What she said, Joe made a quip about, I guess, and then you got a little upset. Now, my point is, do you see any truth in what she said? Or my question is there anything there that may have made you feel a certain way?
Sure.
Okay. And if I was to guess, and I'm not trying to tell you who you are. I don't know. I'm not there, but I know what you've told me. And it sounds like you've spent a lot of time trying to get your know yourself, trying to, settle on a relationship with God and get closer to the spirit that is. And you're here. I'm just wondering where that's led you, where if you have a path to go out and do some work, that's my question, to do some deeds.
Fuck out here.
You got to do the small ones on the way to
I've
the big one.
explained this stuff so many times, Scott.
I've called you 100 times and say, let's do this or do that. I've said a fucking bunch of ideas.
Yep.
You come up
And
with your
Scott,
ideas, and then it leads
right?
where?
No, Scott, I've tried offering one idea to you
Let's go
repeatedly,
to the
and you've
UN.
been so unwilling to even consider it.
Name the idea that you offered. Let's tell
George.
everybody what
I've
it
tried
is.
talking to you about George, the guy here in town.
Okay.
See, Joe, this is what I don't get. Joe has made such a big deal that my goals are worthless because I require someone else. Well, yeah, anything that happens, it typically, unless you're going to be coercive or controlling, it requires cooperation with anyone else. Just like my goal to speak with my son requires cooperation. My goal to speak with my ex-wife, cooperation. Goal to speak with my neighbor, cooperation. Goal to speak with the mayor. The goal to speak with the postal service. The goal to speak to the president. Yeah, they all require cooperation. I don't think I'm asking for too much. I'm not trying to harm anyone.
Evening, gentlemen. That's a good moment for me to jump in actually right now.
Aaron,
Speaking
welcome,
of cooperation,
good to see you, my friend.
Good
Good
to be
evening.
here.
I didn't see you sneak in the back door.
Oh yeah, well, that's how they get them. So Jack, I don't have a lot of time tonight, and I just really have one question. It's less of a conversation. I will come back again for further conversation, but I want to know, really, truly, and this is why I jumped off the other week. What benefit? And this was what I was going to ask you. This is a real question about this. I think it's important. How does it benefit you to bring the negators, the deniers, those who would absolutely despise your plan and are telling you they despise your plan? What synthesis does it create to bring those people, whatever they may be, and good, God bless them, God bless their ideas, but what benefit does it bring you or this idea or the panel to bring the naysayers on and argue with you instead of speaking with those who are like-minded? And this is my actual my kind of bone to pick with you right now, is that I think that you're doing yourself a disservice, sir, by allowing them space, time to constantly try to deride you when they just don't believe it, and they're just trolling you. That's what I believe. They don't believe it. They don't want to believe it, so they will do anything they can to despise
can I interrupt?
and what. So the question is, yeah, no, this isn't a question for you, Scott. This is a question for the man up there. So can you do me a favor? Just stay out. You've had your time to speak, and I haven't been up half or so. So, Jack, I just want to know, and I don't. Once again, I only have a couple minutes.
Who are you referring to, Aaron? Who are you referring to, Aaron?
He's talking to me.
I'm speaking to Jack, Scott, not you. Okay, if you can, you have to put Scott back so we can have this discussion. Well, because he's not going to let us have the discussion. It's about
Aaron.
Carry on.
You're absolutely right, actually, Aaron, and that is you know what? Thank you. That's a question I'm going to consider more. I mean, I could come up with a response right away, but I'm going to reflect on this more. My belief has been I know the power of truth. I have faith in my ability to communicate. And I trust that people can change. And so I guess my hope has been that even if the adversaries join, that God may allow a miracle. And if minds change, I'm telling you, I think I just need one. So
That's how you know you're a saint. You've had several though, Jack. I just think that because it's not as miraculous or expressive, extravagant as maybe we would expect. Yeah, you aren't giving yourself the credit for the effect, even in because little tiny things are the larger spectrum effect. Little tiny pinpricks are what change people for the long run, because those little pinpricks, they are the things that crack the crystal glass. You can sing all you want at the crystal glass. It's not going to break unless it's got a little tiny crack in it. And so these are the things that I would just reach out to you to say, I would be much more willing to have these conversations where people are actually nitpicking the actions taken, or I'm sorry, the ways that we can get to those actions, rather than attacking you, sir, for having an idea about a beautiful idea. And that's where I'm going to leave it, because I think you've got a wonderful message, but it's getting so much undertow for people that just simply have no interest in engaging with it, Jack. And I hope you give yourself that grace.
Aaron, thank you. I'm going to reflect on these words later, and I appreciate that. I do have intentions. We got another guest here too, though. So,
hello.
Welcome,
Well, y'all have
Lindsay.
a great day. Oh, it's Lindsay. I hate to leave now. It's nothing against you, Lindsay. I'm in the
No.
car and I actually got to go. But
Yes.
It's all my
So,
fault, man.
I
He's leaving.
appreciate y'all.
Sail
No.
on down the
So,
line.
yeah,
Aaron,
I'm out. Lindsay's here.
Talk to you
Aaron,
next time.
Later, Al.
yes,
Have a
Aaron.
great night, Jack.
Thank,
Good night, Shot.
thank you very much,
Thank you, Jack.
and I hope to connect again with you later.
Yeah, most
Thank you,
definitely.
sincerely.
I'll be on tonight doing my woo woo thing. So have a good one.
Blessings.
You too.
Blessings.
See you next time.
So,
I want
Lindsay,
to put in my 2
welcome.
cents, of course, and thank you. You
I-
know,
I-
I'm just like this. This is not. This is for Scott. Is that okay?
Hmm?
Do I have your permission to talk and not? I don't mean any disrespect to you at all. But the way I'm seeing this is, I used to see it kind of like Scott does. This is something I don't fully believe can happen as a utopia. I'm not fully in line. It can't be done, whatever. And then I've come to realize everybody has their own path. He gets to believe what he wants to believe, and he can make it happen or not if he wants to. Just like if you don't agree with Jehovah's Witness, you got to let that go and say, okay, you know, if he wants to do the Jehovah thing, I'm not going to tell him he's crazy. I'm not going to tell him he can't do it. Here, it's like he's teaching an art history class or some class, and say you don't like art history. Why are you here? Why are you interested in getting chicken at a steak restaurant? You have to give the person who's teaching a little bit of leeway. This is my opinion, nobody else's. Cherry pick what resonates with you and what you can take. And do not dismiss and diminish everything else because maybe it resonates with somebody else. He's here to talk about what he believes. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to correct him. You don't have to, be sanctimonious about it and say, I am wrong. I mean, you are wrong. I am right. It's just a matter of opinion. Take something out of it, but why would you come over here again and again and again, every time you're here, Scott or someone else, and say, bullshit, this isn't true. You're a bad person. You're preaching this and preaching that. Why not take something good? Like, we can all agree that peace is good, right? Peace feels good. Being heading towards self-actualization or being able to know yourself better and getting to the truth is something I believe everyone can agree with in some aspect. It's good. It's not a bad thing. It's helpful. But then when you come on here and bash him, he can't talk about anything. Instead, he just starts, I'm assuming, feeling kind of bad about himself and feeling like he wasted his time. It's counterproductive. If he's not going to listen or hear what you're saying, that's fine. Move on. Get the chicken at the steakhouse. Find another way to deal with it. Why come here again and again and try to degrade someone and diminish them when they're trying to speak from their heart, whether you agree with it or not? It's maddening. It's maddening.
You think I was trying to diminish him? Well, she said she was.
You
Go
were
ahead, Jack.
trying. You were diminishing.
Would you know where it all started? How it started? Did you pay attention to the whole stream, or did you just come in for that part? Because it all started with PU slamming me, and then me losing a little respect for Jack.
Nothing to do with Jack.
No,
it
actually,
was all a part and parcel.
Lindsay,
It can't.
You know what, Scott? I didn't catch that aspect.
You want to let shit happen to me, and you want respect to
Well,
go two
it's
ways.
not
It can't be fair that way.
Come on. All right. See, now this is the back and forth childish nonsense that I'm
He
really.
doesn't defend any of us.
I just
He
made a
doesn't
statement.
defend you whether he likes you or not. He's here to give a lesson,
That's
to talk
untrue.
about. I don't think that you necessarily are here to be a teacher and castigate people and throw them aside and
I'm not a teacher.
punish them.
I'm a
Not
student of
you,
life.
Jack.
That's why I listen to them.
Right.
I don't think Jack is here to be a babysitter. We're adults, right? So what is this? Well, he said this about me. He said what and that, and my feelings are hurt. I get that. I've been there before. But can't we just have a stream and get over it?
No, a gorilla ran in here and threw poo on me, and I threw it back in his face.
No, you threw it at me, Scott.
No, at the end. I can see how you felt that way.
It happens to all of us.
Listen, Margot threw poo on you, and then Joe fucking stepped on you a little bit more, and I stuck up for Joe, and you lost your feelers for me.
Yeah, all right.
It happens to everyone.
So what I'm saying, I didn't come from an ill place of ill will towards Jack.
Right.
Never.
I do trust that. Lindsay, thank you. thank you for what you offered.
If she
I
thinks
trust
that I
Scott's
did, that's wrong.
intentions.
That is
Well,
wrong.
but
It's just
Scott,
I got in my
it's
feelers.
coming out. It is. It's like our subconscious things are coming out. That's what these panels are doing.
Well, Jack,
We
I've told you 100 times ideas that we could do. You are not a bad guy. You do have some interesting fucking talents, and I've already given you ideas absolutely that I think would be workable,
But doesn't he have his
feasible,
own path just
doable.
like you do? You have a
I
different way
leave
of
him
doing
alone.
things.
I
I
never
do.
bring it up on air. I don't bring it up to. This is the first time tonight I fucking
You
said a
okay?
motherfucking
I'm gonna
thing
jump off
about it.
here. Maybe you guys
No,
can work
sorry,
it out.
sis, I'm not trying to. Go ahead, Lindsay. I
Lindsay,
No,
apologize.
I think I'm a third party here, and
No, please
you
Lindsay,
two
talk.
have
I'll
something
mute
to
for a
work out.
minute. I'll mute.
no,
No,
actually,
I'm done.
Lindsay, you are wonderful. I am about ready to wrap up anyway.
This is
So
all par for the course. So you get
I'm saying it.
you get abused on here. You get shat on. You get have people make assumptions about you that aren't true. We all get it. We all
It's
get it. I can't
it's
fix it. He can't fix it. It's going to happen either way. It's not nice.
Have you noticed yourself getting shit on, Lindsay, on other panels? Has it
Uh-huh.
happened to you?
Yeah.
it
And so you're not immune to it. I'm not immune to it. None of us are immune to it. We just kind of, but we try and get by it. And I have respect, I have love, I have care, and I try and understand Jack. I can't understand Jack and love him. That's how I truly feel because he's his own man. He lives in a fucking another state. We have very little to do with each other except for an hour here, an hour there. And to
oh
tell him
my
how I really feel is being a man. It's being honest, and it's doing it for my best intention to try and help him.
I understand that too because I've tried to do that with many different people, but then that's why I keep saying that everyone has their own paths and they have different ways of getting there, different ways. And so all you're really left with is focusing on yourself because that's all you can control.
That's it. Well said. I'm going to wrap it up from there.
Okay, he wants us to shut up.
Hey,
Well, that's a beautiful.
listen, Jack.
Yes, Scott.
I just want to say, look, thanks for having me. We'll talk again. Maybe I'll shoot you a fucking drop you a line. Who knows? My thing is I don't want to shit on you. We had decent conversation. Well, the reason I brought up what my father said, just FYI, today he would have been 82 years old. All right. So kind of on my mind, especially some wisdom like that. And my thought process is you know what? Probably one of the wisest men I've ever met. Literally. So sharing anything is just a blessing to you from the beyond. And I'm just lucky that I remember some of it. Now, I don't expect you to believe what I said, but think about it a little bit. Maybe even go back and look at what I kind of said about it. And then Joe even backed me up, man, to try and figure out. See, Lindsay just left. It's hard to figure it all out, man. Sorry, Jack. I'm taking your opinion and I'm throwing it to the side. I'm sorry I did that.
Scott,
love you, brother.
Your words you're offering, please. I encourage you to one day go back, make sure you've understood the things I've been saying. Because I swear, if people actually, I go back and I listen to my monologues and I listen to the things that I'm saying, and I'm like, if people listen to this, how in the hell are they treating me this way? It makes no sense. So, Scott, I
don't always listen to your monologues. I'll be
Well-
honest. I end up coming up here late all the time. I end up, so maybe I should go back and try and listen to some of your monologues. And that would be,
I'd encourage
short-sighted.
Please.
Well,
Please.
maybe I'll try and take some time doing it. I do a lot of work listening to bullshit while I'm working. So, that's easy to do. I just haven't done it. And I don't really go back and listen to anything. I mean, it's either I catch it or I don't. And I usually try and catch the panels because that's where there's conversation. That's not somebody talking at me.
Yep. I understand.
And I hate to sound like I'm talking at you, and I know I do, and I don't mean to. But that's the nature of, trying to share your opinions or your thoughts or your memories, if you will.
I understand. Scott, I appreciate it.
God bless you, brother.
Respect. Much love.
Peace. Have a good evening.
You as well. And this thought, I believe Scott was honest about that. And I'm not claiming to be anything special, but Joe, if you hear this as well, I think that's what Joe does. He doesn't check in, he just checks in when he shows up. And so people who have been on this panel so much opposing me, it's like clearly they're not listening. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. I can only assume what is and is not going on with others. Holy cows, this day just continues improving. Welcome, Dead Illumitami. Dead till done. Are you there?
What are you willing to do, Jack? I mean, the solutions you have, we are listening. You stop listening on the response. But I mean, what if you could take Fallen Slave down just by admitting that you're both the guys we would bring to dinner of schmucks? Like, yeah, we give you a lot of shit. You get enabled. You get encouraged to continue your Talcottianism. But what if just by you acknowledging that, it takes Paul down too, because you're both people we could invite as our contestant to dinner for schmucks? And I've been trying to tell this community, it loses my respect by not acknowledging that's what it is, to having to have it explained. Like, I have to explain why you're both contestants for dinner of schmucks. And it's a loop. The whole community is the loop. And like I was saying in the chat, Jack, this is your one place to speculate and stay fascinating and act like you've got the grip. And everywhere you go, you're a contestant for dinner of schmuck.
It feels that way sometimes.
Have you seen that movie?
I think I have. That's the one with the short guy and the taller, skinny guy.
Well, it's just got the guy from The Office that was forget his name, Michael from The Office. And he thinks that the guy from Ant-Man wants to be his friend, but he's really just taking him as a contestant to dinner for schmuck.
Oh, no, I don't believe I have seen that movie. It sounds, I can get the idea, but
And can I shut this cultist down in your chat real quick if you can share his chat? It's the all cap. You might know the cultist by the all caps. Can you share Red 40s? Tommy has a crush on Paul and can't admit it. Can you please bring that up for the future viewer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because the significance of that is 3 days ago we did the 500 sub pre-special, and that guy's daddy and Snafu showed up with bells on to just spurg in my chat for 3 days later for him to act like I come to his show all the time. He's the one that we're all obsessing over, even though he keeps forgetting as soon as we turn attention away from that, he'll be back to stir that drama up. You're all a cult, you're a joke, and your daddy is just as much a contestant. If I was the guy bringing Jack Talcott to dinner for schmucks, and then I was also parallel the guy bringing Paul Enslaved, I'd be like, I don't know, I think I got him. I think I got him on this one. And you don't know which, that's both. Like looking at each other, I'm like, I think I got him. I think I got you beat with my Paul Enslaved Jack Talcott. And then there's a third me bringing Bex. There, I said your name. You're not blocked. I've just been ignoring you. But do you get what I'm saying, Jack? Like, because you can't acknowledge, and this is what would get you past being a contestant for dinner schmuck, would resurrect you back to what might have been your old self of like a manly man. To just acknowledge, yes, maybe I am the Michael Scott. We can jihad the other denial Michael Scott out here.
All right. I'm on board.
Well, I don't know how to lay it out. I wasn't expecting that compliance, and I doubt you'll wake up tomorrow and be like, still compliant.
Well, I can just do the best I can understand. But you're saying that there's an opportunity for me to become a manly man again, and to move beyond the being a guest for.
Okay, let me give it. You said something good there. All you can do is your best to understand. This puts me in mind of Hank. Like, Hank is a definite autist, and we all know he's still pretty new. and like he's already just strutting around saying his thing. It's like, no, dude, you're autist. We've been nice to you, and now we've grown your balls to where you're just in the way. Like,
Okay.
please, Hank. Hank, please.
I want to go get some food.
All right, good talk.
I love you, brother. Thank you sincerely. All who joined the panel today, even though it seemed like the feathers got ruffled with Joe and Scott and others. Tommy's energy actually brought me some calmness. I can't believe it. I freaking love today. Today is such an amazing day. Brothers and sisters, join with me today. Praise God. Praise God for today, for the uniqueness, for the creativity, the spontaneity that this day brought forth. Man, there has been change. There's been change within me. There's been change around. I know through the conversations that there were seeds of thought exchanged, planted, not just up here on the panel, but those who tune in here presently and those who tune in later. I know there's seeds of thought, different ideas being shared. The power of knowledge, the power of information, the way that it's allowed to grow, to find its soil and its root. I hope to grow with you. The ideas of the value of the truth, placing the truth and love, those two things, recognizing they go hand in hand. Truth and love go hand in hand. So, how do you grow in truth? How do you grow in love? The best way I have found is humility. Okay. Something else, not to jump into this 3 hours in, but something I'll probably talk about again soon. Initially, the topic earlier was being self-centered versus soul-centered, and we'll swing back more around to that again probably tomorrow. But with the key of humility, there's a balance, right? Humility and confidence, they appear to be opposite ends, but the two go together. And when you unite in yourself the confidence, the strength to be humble, to show the self-restraint, show the self-control, not to argue and fight and jump upon the flaws, but when we allow ourselves to stay calm, to receive the truth, to be aware of what life is showing us. Life has a mystery of everything seems to work out one way or another. And that's the beautiful part of this mystery of life, is we never know exactly how it will work out. I believe we are being drawn to the good, and the good is where God is. So brothers and sisters, skip some steps. Bring yourself to where God is, bringing yourself into the presence of God through your mind, through your heart, with a pure mind, pure thoughts, pure heart, pure intentions, living authentically as you, with the confidence and trust of you, knowing that there's a greater version waiting to be revealed, to come forth, to bring you forth and through experiences of abundance, prosperity, love, and growth. Brothers and sisters, please thank you. Please and thank you. Do the subscribe thing, share with others if you know, and stay tuned for next time. I'm sure we'll be back again. Peace for everyone. Choose love and live without fear. Thank you. God bless us all.